We're starting the stream from now. How's it going, everybody? Today we have the story. We have the story of perhaps the most assaulted by plushies man possible, and his victimizer, Emiru, who was obviously a very, very bad person. No, but we're going to be talking about the complaint that has been filed. It's official. He is attempting to sue Emiru Asmongold and OTK. I think that this is going to be a disaster for him, just like the beginning of my stream was a disaster. It's always a disaster in the first minute or so. But no, I think he has some real challenges. And first and foremost is that this lawsuit is an attempt to try and save his public image. And he's not going to achieve that by being the aggressor in this. This is terrible for optics, and this is the only thing that he's hoping to accomplish. Now, there is a couple things in this lawsuit that I think are in Mizkif's favor, but very, very few. I'm going to go through all of that. Tankret with a 50 AED says, cool goal you have set up there. Thank you very much. He's also a member for 30 months. So why am I not surprised? How's it going? How's it going, man? Thank you for the 30-month support. And plushy traumatic stress disorder. Yes, yes, indeed. We can't hear you. No, it's not true. I can see the levels. I can see the levels. Now I'm actually worried about it though. But it is, I'm going to be paranoid. I'm going to be very, very paranoid. So what is happening with this entire situation? Well, what's happened is that Emiru was assaulted at TwitchCon, and in the aftermath of that, she decided to go on and talk about all of her details of previous relationships, specifically with Mizkif, who she claimed was abusive, that he essayed her, and that basically that he was just not a very nice man who was trying to suppress her career, and that he was doing things like driving. He's like, I'm gonna end us both if you don't stop being such a better streamer than me. Those sort of things. Basically, just another example of people that'll never be happy because they just never think that they have enough. Really, happy birthday, Chris. Yes. All right, so let's go through it, shall we? Let's go through it. So, in the United States District Court for the Western District of Texas, Austin Division. And this is actually interesting because I believe that Mizkif is in California. And I want to say that OTK is in Delaware. But I believe Emiru, who is Emily Beth Shuck, I guess, is in Texas. And there was actually an interesting prediction that was made by Legal Mindset, who said, taking a purely neutral stance on the Emiru X Mizkif case, Emiru needs to take some action IRL, whether a police report, lawsuit, or workplace harassment claim. Could be considered co-workers. Else, Mizkif can hit her with defamation, which is no joke in Texas. Disparu responded saying, she did say that she was getting a restraining order. Would that work? And Andrew responded saying, call me when it's filed. Working on doesn't take that long. And this may have been a big mistake by Emiru, but we'll have to wait and see. So, plaintiff's original complaint. Now comes plaintiffs Matthew Ronaldo, and Mizkif Enterprises. I'm just going to refer to both of these as Mizkif for simplicity's sake. Complaining about Emily Beth Shuck, who I'll refer to as Emiru, Zach Hoyt, which is of course Asmongold, and OTK Media, which is One True King. I actually thought it was One Turn Kill. I thought it was like a Hearthstone thing, but I guess I was wrong there. Mythic Talent Management Inc. and King Games Lab, so King. So I'll just refer to these as their more commonly colloquial names so that it's easier for everybody involved. Parties, jurisdiction, and venue. Matthew Mizkif is a natural person and a resident of Los Angeles, California. Mizkif Enterprises is a limited liability company. Mizkif is a sole member of Mizkif Enterprises. Accordingly, Mizkif Enterprises is a citizen of California for the purposes of diversity jurisdiction. OTK is a Delaware corporation with its principal place of business in Austin, Texas. Accordingly, OTK is a citizen of Delaware and Texas for the purpose of diversity jurisdiction. OTK may be served with the processes through its registered agent for service, Mohammed, and then they have the state, with the location, which I won't read out. Mythic is a Delaware corporation with its principal place of business in Texas. Accordingly, it is a citizen of Delaware and Texas for the purpose of diversity jurisdiction. Mythic may be served with the process through its registered agent, and it's the same person. King is a Delaware corporation. It kind of just says the same thing, so we can kind of skip over this. Mizkif is a natural person and resident of Austin, Texas. Wait, sorry, I'm confused. That's Emiru. Emiru is a natural person and resident of Austin, Texas. She may be served with the process at a regional place of business, and then it's her address. Asmongold is a natural person and resident of Austin, Texas. He may be served with the process at his usual place of business. The court has jurisdiction of this lawsuit because there is a complete diversity of the parties, and the amount of the controversy exceeds $75,000 dues. Venue is proper in this district because at least one defendant resides in the district, and all defendants are residents of Texas. This is also like a good move, I think, for Mizkif, even though I don't think this is a pretty good lawsuit in general. But as Texas does have pretty strong defamation laws, and it may be the case that Emiru never got around to filing their complaining order or report to the police. That's where he wants to have it. He definitely wants to have this in Texas. A substantial part of the events or omissions giving rise to the claim occurred in this district, which is Texas. Factual background. All right, now let's see. This will be the interesting part. For the past decade, Mizkif has been working tirelessly to build a career in the demanding live streaming and content creation field, primarily on YouTube. This actually surprises me. I believe Mizkif started his career as the cameraman for Ice Poseidon, which would have been on Twitch, and then I guess moved over to Kick. I've never really thought of Mizkif as a YouTube creator. It's more of a Twitch thing, right? We'll have to see. I don't know. What are you guys' opinion? But maybe he's just mentioning all the things. But I think I would have led with Twitch, but it's okay. Maybe he's trying to back away from Twitch with all the allegations that they're coming out of TwitchCon. YouTube, Twitch, and which is a live streaming platform. Throughout the years of effort, Mizkif built his online presence under the handle of Mizkif, leading him to a multi-million follower presence across various social media platforms. Mizkif's entire professional life has, during all relevant times, centered around streaming and content creation. Mizkif became one of the most successful creators on Twitch. I guess you could say that. With a following of 2.2 million viewers as of October 2025. He is known for collaborating with other streamers, playing video games, discussing various issues with his followers and subscribers through Twitch chat feature, and destroying sakura trees in Japan. In 2021, he won Best Just Chatting Streamer at the Streamer Awards. I mean, I guess you got to throw this in, because what he's doing here is he's got to build up that he had something to lose, and that his reputation was damaged, and that there's an actual factual basis for him losing something, where the only really remedy from the court is monetary rewards. It is funny for me to anyone to mention the Streamer Awards, which is just like a popularity show for Cutie, what is her name? Cutie Cinderella and the LA Streamer Bro crew. Nobody really gives a shit. It's not like a serious thing. I mean, I guess it is on Twitch, but okay. The community that Mizkif developed, I believe they refer to themselves as the Mizkifs, along with his industry connections with other streamers, his personal reputation, and his business goodwill allowed him to develop a successful business with multiple income streams from subscribers, ad placements in his videos, sponsorships, and more. Well, this is true. He did make a butt ton of money. A lot of the big streamers do. You can help me make more by giving a chat or joining as a member. A little bit of a self-plug in there. In 2020, along with other certain high-profile streamers, Mizkif founded One True King, media brand and incorporated defendant OTK, which he remains a part owner to this day. Defendant Emiru joined OTK ownership in 2022. This is actually kind of funny, because the last time I talked about this, I said that Emiru was a founding member of OTK, which was incorrect. And somebody was like trying to blow me up in the comments. And he's like, bro, you don't even know about the origin of OTK. You shouldn't be talking about this. And I was like, the founding of OTK has nothing to do with sexual assault at TwitchCon. But okay. I mean, the guy was correct. So you got me. She joined 2 years later. But this is interesting because it does establish them as co-workers, which is kind of goes towards Andrew's point in legal mindset when he was talking about, did I still have that tweet or did I close it? It could be considered co-worker harassment since she didn't lodge any complaint or things. How's it going, Eva? She gifted a $1 super chat. Thank you very much. $1. Through the acts and omissions described below, defendant Emiru Asmongold and OTK have, acting in concert, wrongfully, or maybe baselessly, well, that's arguable, accused Mizkif of serious criminal activity for no purpose other than to harm him, his reputation and his business, and to wrest him from control of the companies that he's helped to build. This is an interesting argument, but a lot of this is personal opinion. And a really big hurdle that Mizkif is going to have in this is that everyone involved in this is a public figure. Now, when you bring a public figure in a defamation lawsuit, you have to meet a standard for actual malice, which is knowledge of the falsity. Can Mizkif prove that Emiru Asmongold, and I guess other OTK members and people online who have been talking about these like things that Mizkif is doing for years, can he prove that they knew that this was false? I don't think that he can. And he may find out that discovery is going to bite him in the ass because it's going to expose all of the things that perhaps he was saying to Emiru, which a lot of people are going to perceive as abusive, manipulative, and potentially SA. That's going to be, I think, a real big problem for him in this. Mizkif and defendant Emiru began dating in 2022. The relationship was not easy on either side, and I believe this is very accurate. And unfortunately, another big problem for Mizkif in this is that he, after Emiru did her stream talking about him, he went online and started dropping a bunch of details, which were essentially confirming what she said, but from a different point of view. And you've got to imagine that if you were Mizkif's lawyer, you were just doing that meme of the shut up, 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 shut up. It's not going to be very helpful, I think, for him in this case. Which I think is what he's trying to achieve here, is that he's hoping for an out-of-court settlement and maybe just like a, hey, look, you retract what you said, I'll retract what I said, and we'll just go about and do our own things. One of the biggest problems in this is that, and I think this is so stupid that he's done this, is that by including Asmongold, he has, how do we describe this? Asmongold is a very interesting character. Very, very interesting because he's kind of like this hugely influential figure on Twitch and YouTube who basically lives like a roach. He eats candy and steak for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and maybe he goes to Wendy's. He doesn't spend money on anything, and he makes millions of dollars a month, I assume. He makes at least $300,000 a month between Twitch and Kick, and I assume upwards of $500 to $1 million a month on YouTube. He has nothing to spend this money on. Inviting him into a long, drawn-out lawsuit with discovery, with all of these things, it's gonna be a fucking disaster. And in fact, I actually just happen to have a clip here of Asmongold, if I can actually find it. Let me see. Asmongold has actually volunteered that if anyone was worried about Mizkif suing them, that he would fund their lawsuit. Be sure to tell me that it's muted, because I always mute things.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody has any of that shit that's happened, I mean, they can always contact me and, you know, like I can set them up with legal counsel and I can pay for it. It's not really a big deal.
There you go. He's just willing to throw money at this. And spoiler alert, Asmongold has a lot more money than Mizkif.
If they want to come out and they're worried about like getting sued or something like that, it's not a big deal to me at all. And so, like, yeah, if that's a thing, but I just don't know. I mean, if Aria knows something, I mean, she just let me know. But like, that's it. She's saying like people that got abused or whatever, they didn't have social media or whatever. That's the reason why. Has anyone reached out yet? If they had, I wouldn't have told you. So yeah, it's just like, because it would be a very private thing, assuming that somebody would have reached out. And so I wouldn't say that or do anything because I think also it makes it about me at that point. And so like, yeah, I would never talk about that for any reason. So it's just that simple.
Well, there you go. So it looks like Asmongold's already on board. I'd be interested to hear what he says about this. Apparently, Uncivil Law in the chat. How's it going, Kurt? He says that if Asmongold needs a lawyer, that he's in the area. That's right, you are in Texas, aren't you? Trucker Rob says, well, howdy. Well, how's it going, Trucker Rob? I hope you're having a good day. Now, where were we? So they began dating in 2022. The relationship was not easy on either side. They would routinely face harassment from Emiru's followers, some of whom were stalking Emiru. Now, this is true. Emiru does have some stalkers, and Mizkif has talked about how he was very upset with a lot of the actions that Emiru did. And one of these was that I think he believed that she was encouraging the stalkers. Now, I don't know about this in these details, but it seems like he was very possessive and basically got very upset anytime Emiru had any type of attention, not just from negative attention from stalkers, but even just positive attention from chat. He would talk about, well, he wouldn't talk about this, but Emiru talked about this in the details that he would literally drive on the highway and just like, I'm gonna fucking end us both. What's the point? And things when Emiru would have more stream viewers than him. He would freak out and crash out when Mr. Beast didn't invite him to be involved in various videos, things like that. He seemed like a very insecure man, is what I'm trying to say. They got into a lot of arguments regularly. I don't doubt this. I'm sure it was a very toxic relationship. And Emiru threatened to kill herself in many of these arguments. Emiru would dress and behave in ways that Mizkif thought made her unsafe in light of the ongoing stalking. This is not good. This is not good to include in your lawsuit. This is not good to include in your lawsuit. She was asking for it, Judge. You don't understand. She was asking for it. Did you see what she was wearing, Judge? Oh my goodness. This is going to be a fucking PR disaster. I mean, it already is. It already is. And this is what like is so questioned about this entire thing. I think this is a freak out related lawsuit. Mizkif is getting shit on all sides. Basically, nobody's taking his side in this at all, except for his own followers that'll probably follow him into the end of the earth. Every streamer has somebody like that. It's just the way that this works. And so what do you do? What do you do? You hit the emergency lawsuit button that just blows everything the fuck up. At the end of the relationship, Emiru expressed her desire to marry Mizkif and raise children with him within the next 5 years. Mizkif, contemplating the tumultuous nature of their relationship to that point, could not agree to do so. He actually did mention this. I got a couple of clips of this. I'm not sure when we'll watch them. I was going to interject them into this, but maybe we'll see. He called off the relationship and moved from Austin to Los Angeles in January of 2025. There you go. Maybe we should take a look now at some things. So first of all, Mizkif has had court cases go for him, I guess not well in the past, but he had the allegations thrown out in the past. But people look at this sort of thing, it's like, wait a minute, he had another lawsuit about SA about him? And regardless of whether they were thrown out or not, it's like people are going to say, well, where there's smoke, there's fire. That's going to be an issue for Mizkif. Now, this is what, let me see, this is the actual complaint that not the complaint, this is the actual video that started this entire saga. And this is where Emiru accuses him of the events in question.
And I was crying like crazy because the emotions were just very high because I was dealing with a lot of major shifts in my life as a result of me attempting to start to try to distance myself from him. An
important detail in the back is look how many plushies she has that she could use as a reserve of ammo to assault Mizkif with these weapon grade Kirby's.
He, so yeah, we were just talking and I was crying a lot. He started to try to comfort me by hugging me while I was sitting on the couch and holding me really close to him. And when this was happening, we hadn't talked in quite a while, and I'm usually very uncomfortable with being touched a lot by people that I'm not in a relationship with. But I let him hold me while I was crying. And he started kissing me in my face, and I let him do it. I was still sobbing a lot. And then suddenly, he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hand down my pants. And I screamed. Yeah. And when I screamed, he jumped off me like a cat, like. And instead of apologizing or checking if I was okay, he said, "I feel weird now. I feel like I did something wrong. I have to go." And he immediately left my house while I was still crying without checking if I was okay or anything. And at the time, I was still making excuses for him, and I was still afraid of causing trouble for other streamers around us, or like, you know, making things weird for viewers. I know that probably sounds crazy, but like I just felt this pressure, like I had to try to keep things together, if that makes sense.
All right, now I'll put in for context sake. Let me see. Where is it? Is it this one? Where? Hold on a second. I need to show. Oh, here it is. This is Mizkif's response. Here we go. So Mizkif responding to this moment in question.
And then we went back to her house. We cuddled for about 30 minutes and started to kiss. She said that she was okay with this on her stream, and I started to advance to the next stage because I thought that's what she wanted. She yelped, and I immediately sprung up and was scared if I did anything wrong or did wrong in general. I got scared and left the house.
All right. Now, this what I'm going to say right now might offend some people, but this is a very sticky situation. And we have to be honest about this. Now, is this sexual assault? And the question is, it depends on your point of view and how you see these things. Essentially, both Emiru and Mizkif has said that they began kissing. Emiru expressed displeasure, and then Mizkif stopped. So this could just be a case of, well, maybe he misread the signals. Now, this is an actual L for Mizkif, though, okay? But the one thing that his lawsuit might have some merit into is that by claiming that he sexually assaulted Emiru, when you bring this up, it may come, well, it's like, well, did you say no? Did you stop when you found out that she was not having a good time? That may come down to the wire in this case, in my opinion. But this is optically terrible for Mizkif because he admitted that he was kissing a crying woman and tried to move it on to the next stage by his own words. Now, this is like one of those things that's probably going to be like very divisive. And I'm sorry, this is just the case it is. Like, I know, I'm probably sure like 80% of the chat and people that are watching this, maybe on replay, will say, well, of course that's SA. Of course that's SA. She was crying. How dare he try and start moving things up to the next level or whatever. But the reality of it is it's more complicated than that, especially in these situations where it's he said versus she said. There's no evidence. But it was an absolute disaster on Mizkif's part to admit that this actually occurred at all. Because again, this is a battle that's going to be won in the eye of the public. And there is no way this situation looks good for Mizkif. Now, it might look like Emiru was... I'm not going to... When Emiru says that she let him kiss him, some people might assume that that means that she was consenting to it. It's a much more complicated, and ultimately only Mizkif and Emiru really know. But for the purposes of this lawsuit, if Mizkif hammers home the idea that, no, it was not SA, you said it was SA, you're implying it was rape or something, maybe he can get something there. But again, there's no way that he looks good in this situation. I really don't see it happening for him. So I just want to put that out there, that that's the way that the situation is. All right, now where were we? 10 months later, on October 24th, Emiru hosted a live stream on Twitch. On the live stream, she lied about the baselessly accused Mizkif of psychological and domestic abuse, stalking, harassment, and SA, and threats of blackmail. Now, this is if we go through these, from what I have seen of this, did he psychologically and domestically abuse her? I think that's yes. Stalking and harassment? I think harassment, yes. I'm not sure about stalking. Sexual assault, again, this is going to be that maybe that ultimately we can never know. I don't like it. I don't like the situation. I think it's weird. I think it's gross. But is it SA? Well, it was certainly sexual, but was it assault? That's the question that we have here. Threats of blackmail. This is absolutely true. And this is a big problem for Mizkif, is that a lot of these things that he's saying can actually be proven. And I think that Emiru talks about that in, let me see if I have that clip here. Let me see. Oh, okay, here it is. So Emiru states that Mizkif has been indirectly threatening her for a while. Let's take a look.
I don't want what happened to me or what has happened to other people because of him to happen to other people. And I don't believe he will ever stop behaving the way he does. But regardless, yeah, like I said, one of the main reasons I decided to do this stream is to come out about all of this because I can't hold on to it any longer because it feels wrong to do so. And an honorable mention reason for why I'm doing this is that for a while, he has been indirectly threatening me through my friends and people that I work with. They've informed me that he said that if I ever talked about anything he did, he would try to create a smear campaign against me in retaliation. I was told that he even approached other streamers who were close with us back when we lived together, asking them if they would join with him, and they all refused. At TwitchCon, he approached one of my employees threatening them and saying if I ever talked about him, he would destroy me. Multiple people have told me that his plan was to claim that I kill animals and that I killed my own rabbits, since I had several of my rabbits pass away over the course of 3 years while I lived with him. I'm sure he's probably listening now, and it's
Now, I'm not sure if I got a clip for the rabbits, but Mizkif did actually do this.
probably going to come as quite a shock to him that this information made its way back to me and that I've known for months. But if you try to threaten me to stay quiet, especially using my poor dead animals, I'm not going to stay quiet.
Now, unfortunately, Mizkif actually admitted to this, that he did send people to talk to Emiru. I think, do I have a... I'm not sure if I have that clip personally. Hold on a second. Let's see. Never threw the phone in. All right, here it is. Here it is.
Can you clarify what, if anything, was said to her team at TwitchCon? I said that if she goes after me, then I will go nuclear. And that.
So you admit to threatening her. Hey, look, if this happens, I mean, yeah, is it reciprocal? Maybe. But you literally admitted to it.
That's exactly what I said. And that is what's going to happen. Because you can't mess with me anymore. I don't have anything to lose. I'm sorry I don't. Go
You say that, but you do actually have a lot to lose. So this is really dumb.
after me all you want. I have nothing to lose.
So that's going to be a big problem, I think. A lot of people take the point of view that wrong in one thing, wrong in everything. So when you have this claim on the live stream, she lied and baselessly, well, there is some basis for this. There's some other things as well that I believe he's got the phone throwing and things like that, where Emiru claims that he was throwing phones at her and throwing objects at her and punching walls and things. All of these things are essentially provable based on photos of their actual apartment living spaces. And Mizkif as well also says I didn't throw a phone at her, I threw a phone towards her. Like saying these sort of things, and then you say baselessly, well, there's actually some basis for it. And you don't, maybe he doesn't need to prove all of them. But if it's like, well, threats of blackmail confirmed, harassment confirmed, stalking, well, that's going to be arguable, I guess. Domestic abuse and psychological abuse, again, those are pretty much confirmed. There's all these clips and things of Mizkif where he's like showing up and harassing, and this is one of those things that could be taken out of context, and maybe maybe he was just trying to be funny or something. But in this example, Emiru is streaming, and I won't play the whole thing because it's like 2 minutes long. But basically what happens here is that they were living together, or maybe this is just their streamer apartment or whatever. And Emiru left some cheese in the fridge because all streamers don't know how to clean their rooms. It's a fact. But Mizkif comes up and starts putting this moldy cheese in her face, making her clearly uncomfortable. And, sort of the thing you would do with a dog, like when a dog shits on the floor and you like rub its nose on it sort of thing. It's kind of like that sort of behavior. Now, I could understand that Mizkif is trying to be like humorous here. But Emiru is clearly uncomfortable with this. And this is going to look awful to a jury of people. And this is the thing. Like you have to, if this goes to court, you have to prove it in front of a, what is it, jury of 6, jury of 12? I'm not sure in Texas. So basically, that's a bit of a bold lie here. So he's a dick. Yeah, I mean he's a big dick place. Yeah, he's not a good guy, and that's the problem, is that he's going to have this negative inference coming in with this. I don't see it happening. Him prevailing in this. In the same live stream, Emiru gives accounts of the relationship that clearly do not support the allegations she's levied. For example, her own description of the purported sexual assault. Emiru states that she and Mizkif were kissing. He tried to initiate intercourse. She made clear that she did not want it and stopped respecting the line that she had drawn. And this is true. Like this I feel like is a good point. And if there is one good point in this, that this is a strong argument. It's going to be very difficult to prove it was actual sexual assault. And it's basically going to come down to how you interpret sexual assault and your own personal feelings for the streamers involved. Again, I think it was a pretty slimy thing to do. And it definitely looks terrible. But the only people that can ultimately know is between Mizkif and Emiru. Because things like that do happen in relationships. Like, people do misread signs. People do... I mean, relationships self-destruct all the time because people make these mistakes. But Emiru and Mizkif have both stated that when Emiru said no, Mizkif stopped. So was it sexual? Absolutely. Was it assault? That's going to come down to what people think in the courtroom. So he started kissing me in my face. I let him do it. And then suddenly he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hands to my pants. And I screamed. And then and again, these are people that were already in a relationship as well. So that's like another factor that's important. It's not like she was a stranger or anything. Nevertheless, she continued to defame Mizkif and portray him as a perpetrator of sexual assault in the video. She knew full well that it would be viewed by millions. The very same day, OTK sent Mizkif a letter purporting to terminate his interest in the company. OTK claimed that it was entitled to do so based on the nature of Emiru's allegations. Emiru is the handle under which defendant Emiru, I know I'm just reading the name, but whatever, operates her streaming and content creation business. OTK's letter is attached as Exhibit 1. I don't think I actually have the exhibit letter. It's probably on the site, but I think you had to pay for it, and I don't want to pay for it. This letter further asserted that Mizkif owed amounts in excess of $600,000 to Mythic for management fees relating to purported breaches that did not occur, although OTK Mythic demanded repayment of these allegedly owed through OTK. Mythic demanded repayment of these allegedly owed fees. This would be interesting though, because like I don't understand how you'd owe management fees to people. I mean, maybe this is just how they do business up there, but like, don't like a lot of these management companies take your income from your streams and your sponsorships, and then they pay you after taking their fee? I guess what they're saying here is that he breached their contract and then they didn't receive payments, so that he owes the money. But I'm not sure. On the details of the LA streaming scene, the Twitch side of things, I don't actually know these sort of things. So this could just be my own ignorance on this part. Further, the letter falsely asserted that Mizkif violated his agreement with King, purported to reclaim Mizkif's 93,012 shares of stock in King, and demanded a payment of $396,401 as a result of purported breaches that, again, did not occur. Mythic, King, and OTK made no serious investigation or inquiry into the basis or truth of Emiru's allegations. I don't know if this is true. Asmongold has kind of hinted that everybody knew about it, everybody talked about it, things like that. This is all stuff that'll come out in Discovery. So this is a dangerous play by Mizkif if he's trying to bring this up. Like if they go through with it. And I think that there's a large chance that they do. Obviously, Emiru, Asmongold are friends. Emiru is like one of the most popular female streamers in the world. Asmongold has an incredibly large war chest that he could use to support his friend. I see them calling Mizkif's bluff on this. And if the messages come out that no serious investigation or inquiry was made, but actually it turns out that they interviewed multiple employees or multiple ex-girlfriends, acquaintances, things like that, because this is not the first claim of abuse and bizarre behavior that Mizkif has in his relationships. If it comes out that it was done, then that's not going to be good. That's not going to be good for Mizkif. Indeed, Mythic, King, and OTK did not even ask Mizkif for comment on any information in his possession, disproving the allegations. Instead, a few days after Emiru's defamatory livestream, OTK, perpetuating the defamation, put out a statement on X, formerly known as Twitter, that it fully supports its co-owner and sister Emiru and stands by her side, admires her strength in coming forward and sharing her story. In this statement, OTK falsely claimed that it had terminated its relationship with Mizkif some time ago for reasons unrelated to recent events. Okay. Asmongold, who, again, streams under the handle Asmongold, is part owner of OTK. I thought, like, Asmongold kind of stepped down from OTK management, I think, or at least he made that statement after the whole shenanigans with, when he basically said that the people in the Middle East should just kill each other or something. I can't remember exactly what he said. Maybe he just said he doesn't care about the outcome, which is honestly what most people don't really care. Sorry, it ain't that serious when you go back to your daily life. But he made some statements which I don't think were that actual crazy, but he definitely got called out about this, and he kind of like, oh, I'm stepping down, I'm moving away from the company, those sort of things. He never stepped down from the lead. Okay. I mean, that's what a lot of people do, is they say that they're stepping away, they're walking away, or they're no longer attached when they clearly are. It's just kind of a PR thing. That could be the case. Since Emiru's live stream, Asmongold has continuously defamed Mizkif on a mere daily basis. He claimed, inter alia, which is among other things, that Mizkif should be in jail, claimed he was abusing and manipulating others, hurting other people, and becoming an aggressor. Now, the thing is, I do believe that Mizkif is an aggressor. I do believe that he's hurt people. I do believe that he's an abusive and manipulative person. But again, the one problem is going to be, like, did he actually do the essay? For example, in a live stream that has since been uploaded to YouTube, where it garnered 1.9 million views as of the date of this filing, Asmongold states directly that Mizkif was the aggressor and the abuser in the relationship with Emiru. Asmongold would then qualify his statement by saying, at least allegedly. Well, shit, they got him. He's off the hook. It's in Minecraft. It doesn't count. But disclaimed that the disclaimer itself by saying that he has to say that for legal reasons. I mean, this will be. I mean, I don't know how seriously the courts take this, like, allegedly in Minecraft shit. We'll have to wait and see, I suppose. Asmongold, on a near daily basis, reaffirmed the truth of Emiru's allegations before his millions of followers. Now, and again, this is the massive hurdle for Mizkif in this, is that because everyone's a public figure, he has to prove actual malice. Does Asmongold believe that this is the truth? And I would say that I think that Asmongold is, I think that he says things that sort of just pop into his head. I think he's a fairly honest, straightforward, no-nonsense sort of guy. He does make he makes some silly references and things like that, but, like, the question in my mind, does Asmongold believe that Emiru was assaulted by Mizkif? Even sexually assaulted by Mizkif? I think that Asmongold believes this 100%. How are you going to prove? I mean, unless there's, like, texts between Asmongold and Emiru that say, like, all right, we're going to set him up. We're going to set him up. We're going to set him up. And we're going to lie about it. Unless they can find that in discovery, you're not going to be able to prove actual malice. Does Emiru believe she was sexually assaulted? I believe she does. Does Asmongold believe she was sexually assaulted? He does, I think. These are all my inferences. Does Mizkif think he's a good boy who didn't do nothing wrong? Yeah, probably he does. I mean, most people don't think that they're the bad guy, right? But because of this public figure status, it's going to be incredibly difficult for him. With the caveat that, like, how people interpret when he stopped. Asmongold also claimed in his live stream that there was another, again unspecified, act of misconduct that was the reason that Mizkif was removed from OTK. This is in direct contrast to OTK's own account, as provided in his letter of October 24th. Asmongold falsely accused Mizkif of threatening Emiru's employees at TwitchCon, a recent streaming convention. Well, the problem here is that Mizkif admitted to this. He did say to her staff at TwitchCon that if you come after me, I'm going to go nuclear. I think those were his own words. When you have all these holes in your complaint, it's going to be an issue for you. Asmongold has enriched himself personally by advertising revenues and subscription fees garnered by his smear campaign against Mizkif. I mean, this is apart from saying smear campaign. I don't know about smear campaign. I believe that he believes it's the truth. But has he enriched himself? Absolutely. Of course he has. He's made millions and millions of dollars, not off this situation in particular, but just every month, because he has some of the highest YouTube clip and Twitter clip saturation that is possible to a man. It's kind of crazy how many Asmongold clips, Asmongold TV pops up in everyone's feeds all the fucking time. I mean, good for him. I wish it was me. I mean, well, I don't wish I was living in his house with eating the candy and steak for breakfast, but apart from that. Even some of Asmongold's own viewership noticed that he was drama baiting for views. I mean, what do you mean by that? Even, like, this is just, like, something that you can't really prove. Like, how do you know they were his viewers? How do you know they weren't just Mizkif fans in disguise? Like, it's like, was it one comment? Was it 20 comments? There's no evidence supplied here for this claim. Was he drama baiting for views? Or was he supporting a friend? I think that he's honestly trying to defend his friend. Asmongold is to the point where he doesn't need to, like, drama bait. Everyone is already listening to him for whatever reason. Like, you may have your qualms about how could this man that lives in an attic of a moldy house and throws his bloody teeth against the wall and eats steak and candy for breakfast and drinks soda instead of water, how is he the voice of a generation? He just is. Okay, he just is. The combined coordinated actions of Emiru, Asmongold, OTK, Mythic, and King have caused serious and lasting damage to to Mizkif's personal reputation and his business. Now, this actually, I think, let me see. This is one thing I think is actually fairly easy to prove. Because one of the problems in a lot of these defamation cases is just showing how much someone has actually been affected by these allegations, right? And it's actually very simple to check in real time on this one, because you can just look at Social Blade, you can look at what view stats, you can look at Twitch stats. There's all these streams that we have access to now that can show a direct and massive decline in subscribers, in viewers, all the negative comments and things. It's actually fairly easy to show. You can just say, look, I had 10,000 subscribers last month. I've got 5,000 now. This is how much damage they've caused to me. Since the defamation occurred, Mizkif has been losing followers and subscribers on a daily basis. Mizkif anticipates the loss of existing sponsorships and increased difficulty in securing future sponsorships, and this is almost certainly the case. Almost certainly the case. Nobody wants... G Fuel doesn't want to be the face of the drink with the SA guy, right? Especially with how popular Emiru is. Regretfully, the extreme nature of the misconduct here has compelled Mizkif to file a suit. I mean, I think this is like the last cope of the copeless. Like he's it's the Hail Mary. It's the everything's shit for him, nothing's working. So, you know what? Maybe I'll just file the lawsuit. Maybe they'll just back down. Maybe I can scare them. But like the people that he's going after, they have like an endless supply of resources, support, and public goodwill. Mizkif is not popular. He's he's popular, but he's not like a polarity of popularity, is what I mean to say. Like, does he have like, I think at times he has like 5,000 to 10,000 live viewers, right? So that's a big stream, obviously. But you've got Emiru, basically the most popular female streamer. Maybe she's like the second or third or something, I don't know. You've got a woman crying. You've got Asmongold backing her up. They both have millions at their disposal. Asmongold has nothing to spend his money on except for lawsuits, apparently. I don't see it going in his favor. Even if he won, he would be the person that punched down against a defenseless woman. This is the perception that people are going to play, right? This is not necessarily, like, I'm not saying that Emiru is defenseless, but she is obviously vulnerable and she's likable and she's crying and she believes that she was SA'd, and people are going to go on his side. They're gonna white knight, sure, but maybe for good reason. So count one, breach of contract. Plaintiffs incorporate the allegations of paragraph 1 through 32 by reference as set forth herein. OTK breached its ownership agreement with Mizkif by purporting to oust him from the ownership when no event of breach or default giving it authority to take such action had occurred. OTK acknowledged it took no effort to investigate and the alleged breaches, claiming in its own words that OTK is not involved in nor aware of the contact of such personal matters of Mizkif or Emiru may have with each other. Nevertheless, OTK anticipatorily breached its contract with Mizkif based on Emiru's allegations. I might come back to this part. Similarly, King breached its agreements with plaintiff by purporting to divest them of their stock in King when no breach or events of default permitting same had occurred. These breaches of contract have caused damage to plaintiff by purporting to divest them of over 1 million shares of stock owned in OTK and King. Count 2. Defamation. Plaintiff incorporate. The allegations of paragraph 1 through 47 of the complaint as set forth herein. Defendant Mizkif and Asmongold have repeatedly published... Wait, sorry. I keep confusing these two. Emiru. It's kind of weird because Emiru has kind of this outwardly Asian appearance. I guess she's like half Asian or something, but it's kind of messing with my brain. So I assume that she's like sorry. Emiru and Asmongold have purportedly published untrue defamatory statements concerning Mizkif to an audience of millions, painting him as a rapist, domestic abuser, and emotional abuser. Well, I definitely think that he's at least a domestic abuser and an emotional abuser. Is he a rapist? I guess I'll have to prove that. These statements were made with actual malice. See, told you about that. Emiru and Asmongold knew at the time that they published that these statements were false. Did they? I think they believe it. What do you guys think? We'll do a quick impromptu vote. in the chat. Be sure to like the stream if you're, or dislike it if you dislike it, but do something. Let's see. Do you think Emiru and Asmon believe this? There you go. Because I do. I do think that Emiru thinks that she was SA'd. I do think that she was abused. Now, was it a shitty relationship where both were being shit partners to each other? Perhaps. But she was definitely had some things happen to her that she didn't enjoy. Asmongold, does he believe this, that this is true? I think so. I don't think that he would go out of his way to try and defame Mizkif. For what reason? For more clout? He's basically the top of the game. Asmon wants this? Well, perhaps, but like, for what reason? But are you going to prove actual malice? Which again is knowledge of the falsity. I don't think they can. Unless there's literally that smoking gun. And that will have to wait till Discovery. And Discovery is going to look absolutely awful for Mizkif. Just because of... If you see the things that he's saying in public, what is he saying behind the scenes? And Asmongold has been hinting about this for a long time as well. And he said that there's other allegations and things like that. Now, sometimes they're just rumors, sometimes not. But when all that's on the table, is it going to look better or worse for Mizkif? I don't think it's going to make him look better. It's possible that it makes it look neutral. But it's much more likely it's going to make him look much, much worse. So again, it begs the question, what is he hoping to gain from all this? I think he's trying to Hail Mary, quick resolution, settle out of court, everyone retracts their statements, and nobody mentions the other parties again. I don't think it's going to happen, though. Like, Emiru is becoming like, she's standing up for her voice, sort of, you know, it's that entire narrative, which is incredibly popular. And she has one of the best PR teams for this, because she's going to get all of this positive attention from all of the people in OTK. You've got Asmongold's Clips channels. You've got all of this. It's going to be a massive amount. There's no way. I mean, in comparison, Mizkif his saturation is rather minor. We'll say. On belief and information, Emiru and Asmongold knew that they stood to benefit from Mizkif's ouster from OTK. I mean, did they though? Because I think everyone kind of thinks that OTK is on the way out anyway. It seems like a lot of people have hinted about the organization dissolving and that it's not very marketable. It's not very valuable at this time. I mean, I could be wrong, but it seems like frankly, I'm surprised that OTK is still alive. I think Emiru herself has kind of hinted that organizations will be a thing of the past going forward for her. But it's not like that. This is that they're about to make some massive play to become like, you know, I don't know, listed on the NASDAQ or whatever. The ouster from OTK and the associated companies have coordinated the timing of their statements to maximize the injury inflicted to plaintiffs. These statements have caused severe damage to plaintiffs' reputation and business and have caused severe emotional distress and mental anguish. And you know what? I believe this. I believe that Mizkif is freaking the fuck out about this. It seems like even the slightest of things cause him to fly off the handle. Like, he rage crit one day, I think, when he had like 10,000 live viewers because Emiru had more than him. And he just did his Irish exit. He quit the stream and he started like walking past her room and trying to get her attention because he was sad and lonely that he only had 10,000 people. How pathetic. Like, can't people just be happy with what they have? No, the answer is no. If you're in LA, apparently the answer is no. I don't understand it. Like, I really don't. I don't think I get off on the parasocial aspect of these things as much as other people do. Like, I feel like there's something missing from my psyche that does it. Like, because when I finish a stream, I just want to turn it off and play video games and ignore people. That's what I like to do. I want to crawl back into my shell, or make some pasta or something. Actually, sorry, I was thinking about pasta earlier today. I don't always eat pasta. I'm not like a big pasta boy or something, but it's kind of like a treat, you know, because it's hard to get pasta where I am. I do like it though. Anyway, back to the content. Count 3, declaratory judgment. Plaintiffs incorporate these allegations into paragraph 1 through 41 into the complaint as set forth herein. An actual controversy exists between plaintiffs, OTK Mythic, and King concerning the purported breaches that the defendants alleged plaintiffs committed and the efficacy of defendants' attempts to unlawfully divest plaintiff from their interest in the companies. An actual controversy exists between plaintiffs OTK and Mythic concerning the amount of demands by OTK and Mythic for the unlawful management fees, which are neither due nor owing. An actual controversy exists between plaintiff and OTK concerning the wrongfully accelerated promissory note, which OTK had no legal basis to make demand upon. The court has jurisdiction on this issue. The court has jurisdiction to issue declaratory judgment under 28 USC 2001 SC. Attorney fees based on the actions of OTK, Mythic, and King. Mizkif has been forced to retain the undersigned counsel to protect his interest in the occurring legal fees, pursuant and blah blah blah. I mean, this is just kind of this is like boilerplate. It's in every lawsuit. Damages. Plaintiff has been damaged by the acts and omission of the defendants in the following ways: reputational harm. I mean, they've definitely hurt his reputation. But truth is an absolute defense to defamation in the United States. So regardless of whether he lost his business goodwill, let's go through. These are the things that he's been aggrieved. He's got reputational harm. I'd agree. Yeah, he's got reputational harm. Loss of business and goodwill? Absolutely. Loss of earnings? Absolutely. Loss of future earnings potential? Absolutely. Emotional distress and mental anguish. You know what? I think Mizkif has suffered all of these. And he can suffer. Because if it's true, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Conclusion and prayer. Wherefore, premises considered, plaintiff, Mizkif, and Mizkif Enterprises pray that this honorable court, after trial, enter judgment against defendants, awarding plaintiff such damages as determined by the finder of fact. This would be an interesting, like if this actually went through, and in the crazy situation Mizkif actually wins this, because there's always a possibility. That's one thing you have to remember. There's always a chance in every lawsuit because of the human element. How much damages do you think you'd be entitled to? I mean, I guess it'd be in the magnitude of millions, right? It would have to be. Prayer? I think this is a Texas thing. But I thought it was kind of weird as well. Awarding plaintiff reasonable and necessary attorney fees. I mean, that's just standard. That would be reasonable. Awarding plaintiff pre- and post-judgment interest at the maximum rate allowable by law. Declaring that OTK, King, and Mythic have no claims against plaintiff. Declaring that OTK, King, and King's attempts to divest plaintiff and their interest in the companies at issue were ineffective as a matter of law, and granting other such and further relief as to which plaintiff may prove themselves entitled at law or in equity. And signed by Burke Bogdanovich. And he's got a nice signature. I like that. There we go. And that is the complaint. So to sum up, and probably be a shorter one. I just kind of wanted to go over this since it's hot off the presses. I think this is very interesting though, and I'll probably be following this case going forward. Let me know if you're interested in seeing more about this in the future. To sum up, Mizkif has a massive uphill battle here. He's fighting against the will of basically everyone in the space. Thinks that he's a bad guy. They think that he's absolutely abusive, whether mentally or physically. He's got all of these past relationships coming out. He's got all of these clips coming out, because that's the thing when you have these live streamers. And I guess I'm saying this on a live stream, so there's a bit of irony there. But when you stream everything you do, people are going to clip it. They're going to analyze it. They're going to make their own inferences. It's not going to look well. Not only in the actual court, but in the court of public opinion, which is the only place that this ultimately matters, because he's trying to save his career. Does this look good for Mizkif? And I think this is objectively no, it does not. Even if he wins, he's the man that was punching the woman. That's how this is going to play out in the courts and online. Even if he wins, best case scenario, he's still an abusive person that was going after a battered woman essentially. Maybe he can prove that they defamed him because of the interpretation of how you perceive the hands down the pants crying event, whether it was SA or not. I definitely think it was wrong. I definitely think he misread the room there. Was it a sexual? Absolutely. Was it assault? Maybe. I couldn't tell you. Only Emiru and Mizkif truly know that. I think it's ridiculous that Mizkif admitted to it, though. If he had just said nothing, he'd be in a much stronger position. Now, the most likely thing that I see going forward is that this does get settled out of court. But mostly, I don't see Emiru retracting his statements. I don't see Asmongold retracting his statements. And I feel like if there's any duo that is looking for a battle that can actually afford it, because the thing people say is that nobody can afford a lawsuit. If there's one man that can afford a lawsuit, it's the man who gets millions of dollars a month and spends less than $10 a day on food and doesn't even care about anything like his own health. And I mean, obviously, Asmongold cares about things, but like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're living in an old, moldy house, which I think he does for sentimental reasons, so I'm not trying to disparage him, but I'm just saying these are the facts of the case. Is that Asmongold spends no money whatsoever on basically anything. not his health, not his lifestyle, not his accommodation. He's just banking all this money, apparently. Maybe he donates it secretly. I don't know. But he does have this essentially endless war chest. What about Mizkif? Does he have an endless war chest? No, he does not. And in fact, his war chest is going to get smaller by the day because of the public perception. Was his reputation damaged by Emiru and Asmongold? Absolutely. But again, truth is an absolute defense in defamation in America. So I feel like this is a brainlet move. I think he could have just moved on. Like, realistically, you think that people they make these statements about you have to defame them. Not actually the case, because you're always going to have a certain amount of fans that will follow you. Did he take a hit from it financially? Absolutely. But if he just keeps going, he just keeps providing his service to his current base, his hardcore followers, whatever. He could have kept going like that. Would people collaborate with him? Would he be like a toxic individual in the space? Yeah, probably. But he'd be able to make a living doing it. After this, though, ooh, I don't know. That's gonna be very, very tricky. Miz has no audience; it's all bots. Well, I guess that's true. I mean, allegedly. Mizkif has talked. I think Mizkif has talked to people about botting, and he does seem like the kind of guy that uses botting. But surely you can use stream charts to see his actual level of subscribers. Like, when you say he has no audience, what does that mean? Like, how much money does he need? Like, is he making $10,000 a month? Surely at least $10,000 a month. That should be enough to live in LA. I mean, he could move to a cheaper place. But to say it's all bots is kind of cope. Like, there are people that love Mizkif. There are people that watch him. There are people that will support him. And even stronger, they'll support him now. Because regardless of the character of a person, there's always going to be that contrarian group that'll go after and support the person just because, like, maybe they dislike Emiru, or it's like, well, obviously she's just a woman trying to get attention. Like, there's going to be those people. Just always is. It just do be like that. No way Asmongold donates shit. I don't know. What do you think Asmongold does with his money? Is he just saving it for New Game Plus or something? Like, I actually quite enjoy. Well, quite enjoy is a strong word. When I see an Asmongold clip and I watch it, I usually enjoy it. But I don't watch his content regularly, and I don't like search out his content. But he does have some very funny takes. He does seem to be pretty quick with his clapbacks and things like that. So I enjoy when I see him. But like, Asmongold's the kind of guy who finishes a game and he's got 99 elixirs. But like, when I say game, I mean like his real life. It couldn't be me. If I had that money, I'd be spending it every fucking day. It really is interesting. It really is interesting too. Oh, I should play for the context, whereas the
Or plushies.
So this is Mizkif. I probably should play this at the start, but this is Mizkif claiming that he was that their relationship was abusive on both sides.
But Emmy was also violent.
This is a stupid fucking thing to say already. Because what do you say? Emiru was also violent. Also, that means that he was violent. You shouldn't say this. You shouldn't say this.
She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and I punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression.
Oh my god, this is so fucking stupid. Like, imagine saying this. Your Honor, she threw her hoodie at me. She threw her assault plushies at me. I mean, women do this. Women do throw shit at men all the time. But like, the thing is, you're a man. It doesn't matter. Oh my goodness. Not the plushies. If they bring this up in the court, it'll be the funniest thing possible. It's just gonna look bad for Mizkif. Now let me see. We watched that. Let me just see if there's any other important ones here. Let me see. Emiru claims he never threw a phone at Emiru's eye. Let's take a look at this one.
First time I felt love for a girl, and I thought I'd want it to never let it go. The first year of our relationship, we almost had no fights. We started to date officially in January of 2022, and up until my cancellation, everything was perfect. She brushed over that I threw water bottles or my phone near her, but that wasn't during fights.
Again, this is just like such a terrible statement. He's like, well, yeah, I did throw my phone, I did throw water bottles, but it wasn't during a fight. Oh my gosh.
I want to make that very clear. It would be me throwing my phone on my bed when I brushed my teeth. She did tell me she got a bruise from it, and I stopped.
So you threw your phone, it hit Emiru, and she was bruised. These are the facts that you have laid out. It doesn't matter if you were brushing your teeth or it wasn't during a fight. When you say this, when they play this in the court, when this comes into discovery, it makes you look like the biggest piece of shit. This is the fight that Mizkif has like waiting for him.
That's all that happened. I will throw you and show you an example, chat.
Oh no.
I'm brushing my
Don't.
teeth. Right here. Look at me. I would throw my phone on the bed.
Emiru just happened to be sleeping there as well.
I would just lob it over because I was going to bed. So I would just throw the phone. That's it. And when
like is what Mizkif saying possible? Like, is it possible that you just throw your phone nonchalantly and you accidentally hit your girlfriend and you bruise her? Yeah, it's possible. But when you combine it with all of these other factors, that he was punching holes in the walls, that he was doing this abusive, psychotic manipulation things, like when you throw that together and you say, like, yeah, I threw my phone at her and she bruised, but it wasn't when we were fighting. It's just, oh my goodness. It's just optically, this is a nightmare. And you have to imagine that Mizkif's lawyer is like the most unhappy guy in the world.
that's the whole thing. I didn't throw it at her. I want to make that very clear. I never threw it at her. I never hit her. And she even said in her situation that she bruises easily.
So when you throw things that happen to hit Emiru and she bruises, the fact that she bruises easily, it doesn't matter. You bruised a woman via actions. And 95% of people are going to take a negative inference from that, regardless of whatever actually happened. Now, obviously, we always try and make ourselves sound better in these situations. So he's like, well, it wasn't during a fight. Was it after a fight? Was it at the conclusion of a fight? Were you feeling some animosity towards her during the day? Those don't matter.
She brushed over that I threw water bottles with her on my phone near her, but that wasn't during our fights. It would be throwing my phone on my bed when I brushed my teeth. She did tell me she got bruises from it, and I stopped. That's all that happened.
It's a disaster. Absolute disaster. What was this one? Oh, that's Asmongold playing the fees. We saw this one. Keep the plushie one open for now. What was this one? Mizkif insists Emiru is a bunny abuser. So this is the claim that Emiru made, is that if she came forward and talked about how Mizkif was abusive, that Mizkif's response would be that she killed her bunnies by negligence.
Emiru has a lot of rabbits. It was her calling when she first moved in. But as those rabbits moved out of her room and into the living room, they started to see disgusting neglect.
Why were you throwing phones at them too?
No food, no water. Sometimes
I haven't seen that. What is this guy? Papa Gut? Seems pretty funny so far.
not having clean bedding for weeks.
Hey guys, Emiru showed that I'm an obsessive, abusive stalker, but she did neglect her rabbits. Here's my theory. Emiru had all these rabbits. The rabbits apparently would hang out in the living room. You have Mizkif on video we saw before, banging, slamming doors, destroying the front door, doing all these insane things. We could hear it.
Yeah, like rabbits are really sensitive to this. My brother had a bunch of rabbits who he very unfortunately named the characters of like Watership Down for each of his rabbits. And yeah.
Hear it on the audio of him being incredibly violent and abusive. Why? Because Emiru, I don't know if you guys knew this, she had more people watching her stream than his stream while they were playing together. And that just caused him to get really upset and start
So full video, Mizkif decimates his career as he desperately tries taking Emiru down with him.
slamming.
Do you guys want to watch the Mizkif video, like the full statement? It's like 30 minutes. We could do that if you really want to. Press 1 in chat if you want to see the entire context.
All these rabbits, they were abused, they were neglected. By who, motherfucker? Apparently, rabbits can die from loud noises because they're very sensitive.
I mean, this is another thing, is that if Mizkif is saying that these rabbits died while he was on the scene, why don't you do something? Like, Emiru may be a bad bunny keeper, but saying that someone else did something bad does not absolve you of what you did. And if you were in a position, a direct position to affect the lives of these rabbits, you didn't intervene, then again, it just shows you how further you were a piece of shit.
Stress. Mizkif, were you creating a stressful environment by melting down when Emiru would be better at a game than you? We saw the private messages of you crying because she was playing a level 24 warrior in a video game and you were afraid she'd be better than you at the warrior. How do we know?
There's actually a lot of really funny clips, like in retrospect, where Emiru's just showing that she's a much better gamer than Mizkif, and he's just seething. I remember one with like the Super Mario. I'll see if I can find that. Actually.
That the environment that Mizkif created at his house didn't kill the rabbits. What if he made the rabbits have stressful meltdowns? What if the reason that she may not have been able to take care of the rabbits was because Mizkif was a constant threat? Oh, she abused the rabbits. I think that you did, motherfucker.
All right, here's this clip that I was talking about. I've actually never played Mario 64. I never had a Nintendo 64. So I think they're trying to do like a speedrun skip or something.
Dude, why are your settings like this? These aren't even the default settings.
Not only did she accomplish it with his scuffed ass settings, she made fun of him. He inverts his controller or something. I don't know. All right. I guess this is 30 minutes. I guess we can check this out on 1.25 maybe. We'll see if it's interesting. I've actually never watched the whole thing. I've only seen the clip. So maybe Asmongold has been lying and Emiru's been lying and we're all just mistaken. We'll check out this.
Is this goodbye?
This is called The Truth. Here's the first thing. When your apology video has comments turned off, you know it's not good. You know this situation can't be good. This is the first thing. Turning off your comments. That it's not even showing the likes as well, right? Like if I like it, it's not going to say anything. Yeah, because usually in YouTube it just shows the number, right? That's cope and hide mode.
No, it's not goodbye. Not at all. Explain yourself. I will. There's some people that are saying some pretty crazy things. I haven't even gone on Twitter. I saw other things. I'm like, damn. But I've been around for 10 years now. A lot of you guys know, pretty far away from this stuff at this point. But I am totally...
Oh, wait. Hold on a second. Mizkif is just Amber Heard too, perhaps. Thank you for the 34 months. And Mario Okada, very, very apropos name. Almost literally what Styx got convicted of domestic violence for. Oh, there you go.
Okay with exposing a lot of things and saying things. At this point, I think it's pretty obvious I will not be friends with any of these people after this. Ludwig was right. I am going to completely...
Ludwig is like the snakest person. It's so funny that people are now realizing this. It's so funny. And every time... There was a really funny clip actually I did see of Asmongold where he's talking about how he feels bad for Ludwig because Ludwig is getting a lot of shit from being a fence sitter in the Hassan situation, and for a lot of times for being a fence sitter and not for having a spine and not for standing up for things and things like that. But like in particular, during the Hassan electrocuting his dog saga, Ludwig was getting a lot of drama. And then just like a few days before this entire Emiru situation dropped, Ludwig was talking about like reconnecting with Mizkif and like talking about Mizkif's situation. The exact wrong time. It's so funny. The man is so unlucky.
Separate myself from these people, this community, which is fine, and I've already been doing it, but I have hundreds of messages and DMs from people, things that people probably would never want to get released that are very interesting for everyone, and I will be releasing it as time goes on, because why not? Before that, I would like to address everything that was said today. I wrote this myself, so I don't know if it's even good.
No. Look, guys, I wrote this myself. Lawsuit is the next step. You know he's a good writer there. There you go.
I am not the best writer, as a lot of you know. I have half my screen right now is red because I can't write for shit. It's not through ChatGPT. Shut up. So this is April of 2021.
He had to blur his own chat. He had to blur his own chat on the replay as well, which is very funny.
met online when we were playing AT&T Annihilator Cup. This is me and Emmy. I was introduced.
Also, I just want to make a statement. It's probably not a good idea to, if you're like a public person, you probably shouldn't date other public people. It just seems like every time it's a disaster. Don't have streamer relationships. Don't try and have these power couples. It's not like celebrities or anything. Like you're not that special. Just stop it. Just stop it. And also, like, just imagine how annoying that would be. Because like when you get really popular, when you've got thousands of people watching you, it does start to generate this like parasocial environment where people are like really interested in everything you do offline, and it's just really invasive. And a lot of people can't handle the scrutiny. A lot of people freak out or have crash outs because they just aren't ready for that level of attention. I think was that when Boogie was like crashing out, like, I can't stand this level of scrutiny. Like, you know, that thing. A lot of people can't handle it. And if you have like your partner is also a streamer, it's just ×2. What a disaster. And then like inevitably, because most relationships do end up in breakups, the fallout, it's just I don't understand it. I would never date somebody in the same profession as I am, because I just want to like an escape from when I finish my job. I don't want to go home and talk about the job more, or you know, it's too much. I think just date different people. Opposites attract for a reason.
To her through it, and my chat started to like us hanging out. I didn't have feelings for her or anything, but I thought we could start hanging out more and be friends. So we met through the Annihilator Cup. A lot of you guys know that.
I mean, this sounds really bad though. It just sounds like he's like, well, she's more popular than me. I get more attention when Emiru's around. I guess I'll keep her around. Sure, we can maybe be friends. Maybe it'd be beneficial.
I was playing with her. My chat liked her a lot. She was fun to hang out with, so we started hanging out. We started to play games with each other on stream, and we started to grow closer together. We started calling each other, and we were flirting. We didn't do anything, but it was pretty obvious that Emiru had feelings for me as well as I had for her. But we couldn't really do anything because at the time, she was dating a girl named Bonnie, another cosplayer from another state, and I was dating Maya. Me and Maya broke up. I broke up with her because the relationship felt stagnant.
There's also like clips from his previous relationship with Maya that people are using to show he's always been abusive. So again, it's another example why you shouldn't just be dating these public people, and you should probably keep all of your relationship off the internet. Is probably a good idea, in my advice.
And Maya's sanctuary started to take over a lot of her life, and we hardly had time to hang out with each other. Since Maya moved out, I knew I wanted the streamer to move into the house, preferably a girl to farm content with, but I didn't want it to happen so fast. I didn't know if I wanted to.
I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it just sounds terrible. It's like, so we've got our content house. I wanted to bring a new girl into the stables. That's what it sounds like to like a normal person, like a person that isn't terminally online, like a lot of these people are. Well, like it does make sense though. Like it is a business decision, so which is kind of funny, but it just sounds so terrible.
Be Emmy, but she told me about a stalker that came to her house with a bat, and she didn't live at her house anymore. I told her to come move in with me in Austin because she had a stalker, and we want to make content, and the guy will probably be scared since there's a bunch of people around instead of her in her Kansas home by herself. From there, our relationship started growing very fast. Within just weeks of moving in, she would sit in my room with me late at night, and I would watch Pokemon over and over again, season 1. I loved it because she made me feel like it felt like my childhood and a place of calmness. She would fall asleep in my bed. With some nights, we would touch our backs or legs together. We knew we liked each other. We just knew it was a bad idea. Talks of her joining OTK happened.
I mean, he's not wrong about it being a bad idea. It's kind of adorable that they like watching season 1 of Pokemon together. Good show. Very classic. But like, probably should listen to your gut on this one, eh?
Fast as well. And I knew that if we were potentially going to date, we'd have to keep it a secret. Nobody was allowed to know. Streamers as well were already starting to resent me, saying that it was a shitty thing that I moved Emmy in so fast and replaced Maya so quickly. If people found out we were dating, I could be hated by my peers and lose what I created in OTK. I didn't know if we were going to date, and I knew if we were going to make it happen, it was going to be very stressful. But I had no idea what was going to come. It was the beginning of January of 2022. Emmy just had her huge party in an arcade celebrating her birthday on stream. Everyone from Austin was there, and as we were celebrating her—
This is interesting. The chat's now unblurred. What was that? What was he trying to blur before?
for joining OTK, there was a huge scare. Someone outside in the parking lot rammed into my Audi R8 and drove off. And while we were outside thinking it was a schizo viewer, we were told that the person who just hit my car was now inside holding a gun. This scared us to no end. Me and Connery's pants ran inside in fear to get everyone out and make sure everything is okay. My first concern was Emmy. I wanted her to be safe. The cops came, the drunk driver did have a gun, and was sentenced to 3 to 5 years in prison. Me and Emmy—
What the fuck? I never heard about this.
were terrified that night. And on the way home, I grabbed her hand and she grabbed mine, and we knew we were trauma bonded and we didn't want to let go. We would wake up together, stream together, and hang out with each other all night. She quickly became my best friend and someone that I felt for the first time I was in love with. We hung out all day, every day. We were always so happy with
I think, like, for these apology videos, you should turn off the TTS. Probably you should turn off auto donations. But the little frog popping up in the corner saying, just don't kill yourself, man. Okay.
each other, playing games until the night, loving every moment we were with each other. I remember one day I left my house. She called me just so we can be on the phone together.
Yeah, the trauma bonding thing is like, it doesn't sound good. I was going to comment about that. Like, is this during like the lockdowns for the pandemic as well? Is that another thing? A lot of people use the term we trauma bonded over COVID or whatever. Kind of a buzzword, but
as we always did. And we were playing a song called Falling in Love with You with Elvis came on, and I felt that love, first time I felt love for a girl, and I thought I'd want it to never let it go. The first year of our relationship,
so it's like iDubbbz at developing empathy at 34 or whatever.
Almost had no fights. We started to date officially in January of 2022, and up until my cancellation, everything was perfect. She brushed over that I threw water bottles or my phone near her, but that wasn't during fights. I want to make that very clear. It would be me throwing my phone on my bed when I brushed my teeth. She did tell me she got a
I mean, he got the rebound shot, I suppose. So maybe he did on purpose. Who knows? But I mean, again, this is just such a terrible thing to say. Like, he shouldn't have. If he made any statement, he should just say it's not true. I did not hit her, and I won't be talking about this further. That's really all he could have said. Maddie with a B with an N. I don't know what he means by this. I don't know what could he mean by this, chap. But thank you for the 2. But like, yeah, you're just confirming that your actions, you did have fights, you did throw your phone hit Emiru, and she bruised. Even by itself, that's a bad thing to say. But then you put in the context of you being abusive, perhaps as like alleged SA. It's just like, he's fucking cooked. That's all you can really say.
bruise from it, and I stopped. That's all that happened. I will throw you and show you an example, chat. I'm brushing my teeth. Right here. Look at me. I would throw my phone on the bed. I would just lob it over because I was going to bed. So I would just throw the phone. That's it. And when that's the whole thing. I didn't throw it at her. I want to make that very clear. I never threw it at her. I never hit her. And she even said in her situation that she bruises easily. She brushed over that I threw water bottles with her on my or my phone near her, but that wasn't during our fights. It would be thrown.
So you're admitting to bruising her again. Hassan didn't sue for all the Kaya stuff. Drake lost his lawsuit, but this guy thinks he can win. Lawsuits never look good. That's the thing. Unless your lawsuit opponent is like a big media company or like a big, like versus Disney or something, lawsuits are almost never a good idea. Especially in this situation where you already look like the bad guy and now you're bringing a lawsuit. People are just going to say, well, of course you're trying to silence him or something. This is really a no-win situation for Mizkif, but it's all of his own making. So I can't feel too bad for him. But the funny thing with Hassan is it's really entertaining to me how people aren't letting go the shock and paw incident where Hassan electrocuted his doggo. And what's funnier is to see the people cope about it, saying like it's not true, when so far we have Hassan admitting that he owns a shock collar. His trainer uses shock collars and recommends it. He admits to owning multiple collars. He showed the collar 24 hours later. The own manufacturer admitted that they thought that the model was the shock collar model. And just what our own eyes see, he reaches for something, the dog yelps. It's so fucking obvious. But then you have like hack journalists is saying like, well, actually, it was never proved that he abused his dog. Actually, that's the funny thing is like, Taylor Lorenz was one of the biggest Hassan, I guess, ball suckers, and she was trying to say that it was like not proved that Hassan electrocuted his doggo. And she's like, there has never been an instance where Hassan has abused his dog. And I commented on it with the video of Hassan pulling his dog's tail, which is abuse. For a large dog especially. It can dislocate their spines, it's got sensitive nerve endings, and there's just no reason to pull a dog's tail unless you're maybe a 2-year-old, or unless it's to save your dog's life. You know, like the dog's about to run in front of a car or something. And then she got community noted on that, which is very, very funny to me. So suffer Taylor Lorenz. Taylor Lorenz is such a piece of shit. She's personally doxed 2 women that I know. Well, I mean, I know one of them. The other one I don't know. But then she complains like, oh my goodness, Ethan Klein's trying to bully me. I don't know. I think it's so funny that Taylor Lorenz is just... People are starting to catch on to what a piece of shit she is.
My phone on my bed when I brush my teeth. She did tell me she got bruises from it, and I stopped. That's all that happened. I did feel a lot of stress.
So he only bruised her a little bit, chat.
Over the time of our relationship up until this point from her stalkers. From the ones that would show up at her old house, and also stalkers that just had from her TikTok postings. We found after being with each other that her stalkers had a lot from would come to her a lot from her short form content. These people were schizophrenic and would think that she is talking to them. Whether it was songs she played, the way she looked at the screen, or just the titles of the videos, these people started to feel she was talking to them and come to our house to stalk her. These people thought in their heads they were dating her, They were out of their mind and dangerous. I told her
I mean, this does occur though, and a lot of female streamers like lean into this. But kind of a sad fact is that just some people are just doing their own thing, and they're not baiting in the schizos. But the schizos come all the same, and a lot more for women. This is one thing that male streamers typically don't have to worry about. But I mean, and it's not like there wasn't a fear of this, because it literally happened to Emiru at TwitchCon, where that guy came up. J-Rock says towers, LFG. What towers? What are you talking about? No, I am talking directly to you when I talk to the chat. Okay.
if we're going to be serious about this relationship, I need her to stop posting as much and to not farm these people. She agreed and understood that it was a safety concern for not only me, but the house. Russell, Simply, Corey, or anyone that was in my house or anyone that was near us. She agreed that she wouldn't want to hurt anyone else and knew that posting these types of TikToks and posts can mess with us and is something I'm not comfortable with as a guy. So she would tell me that if I had a problem to let her know. And at first it was minor things here and there, but over time it got harder and harder to deal with. There were more.
I mean, this is like, while there may be some truth to this statement that you shouldn't lean into the schizos, or you shouldn't, you know, perhaps post raunchy content because it's going to make people like. This is the difference, I think, with a lot of male and female streamers, is that a lot of the male donating to women, they see it as their financial. They're financially providing for them and thus protecting them. And it's kind of like very sinister, because it kind of plays off this trick in the male brain where males are genetically predisposed to be providers. And it takes advantage of that. Now, some women take really advantage of this, and some women are just doing their job as a streamer, if you want to call streaming a job. Regardless of what they're trying to achieve, this does happen. And, you know, if you're in a relationship, again, this is why you probably shouldn't be in a relationship with someone in your same field. And probably you shouldn't date anyone that's in public space. Sorry, entertainers, you get to be lonely forever. That's just the way it is. But yeah, like as a man, you want to protect your girlfriend or something. You may be concerned about these sort of things. So while what he's saying may have an element of maybe there is something there, how this is going to read to the court, how this is going to read to the public is like, well, she was asking for it. She was clearly asking for it. Look, do you see what she was wearing? She was asking for it. Like, that's how it's going to come off. So again, even though there may be a little bit of truth to this part, it's going to be taken with a negative inference. And that's just the way it is.
Stress on top of this. We both had to hide the relationship from everyone. If anyone found out or was known, I could get in a ton of trouble with OTK and cause a ton of problems. I told her if we were going to be serious about this relationship, I need to stop posting as much and to not farm these people. And then there was more.
This is the problem, though, is that nothing looks good for Mizkif. It seems like as far back as I can remember, he's been embroiled with drama. Like, he literally started as a cameraman for Ice Poseidon, one of the most controversial streamers of all time, and the progenitor of the IP2 movement, which has been, you know, seen globally with the Johnny Somali and other nuisance streamers. So he even got off on the wrong foot. He's never going to be like the good boy. He's always had this nagging, suspicious thing to him. So yeah,
more stress on top of this. We both.
Oh yeah, the first time I think the first time I actually mentioned or recognized him was with the Sakura thing, where I went to talk to Kaho about it actually. Who was very nice, very down to earth.
Had to hide the relationship from everyone. If anyone found out or was known, I can get in a ton of trouble with OTK and can cause a ton of problems in my life. So I lied to all of my old friends, S-Fan included, who lived just next door to me, and everyone in OTK. And that was very hard for me to do. We had a doggy door between our rooms just so we can hide it from everyone else, including my roommates. We would lock the doors to avoid our roommates finding out. As time went on, they found out, but to most of our friends in the Austin.
So he's like sneaking through the doggy door to get into her bedroom to keep it secret. That's weird. Like, again, does this sound like a good idea? Like, does this sound like a good thing to do? Like, to be in these relationships? This is apart from the Emiru Mizkif situation. Just like, if you have to do this to have a relationship, maybe you should just be dating other people. Like, you could just avoid all of this drama by just not dating public people.
Circle, they never officially knew. That stress alone would drive.
What is OTK? OTK is One True King. It's an organization between several streamers. Apparently, at least 3 founding members, I believe, were Asmongold, S-Found, Mizkif, and others. I thought Emiru was a founding member, but apparently she joined 2 years after its creation. It's basically just I guess a talent organization, I guess you could call it. Like, they handle sponsorships. They do collaborations together. It's like Mythic Entertainment or something like that, basically. Kind of like a manager, essentially. But I think these days, like, basically there's a lot of drama that's been in it with a lot of the members, whether justified or not. Like with the Asmongold drama, I think he didn't deserve that at all. But they have to step away. So I feel like there's not that much length left in OTK, but it's a personal opinion.
Anyone mad, but our love for each other was strong and we knew we could handle it. In September in 2022, a lot of you guys know, I was canceled by Trainwrecks and others trying to claim I covered up sexual assault. It was proven wrong, but that destroyed my mental health.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if it was proven wrong, but the allegations were dismissed. This is one thing that happens with a lot of lawsuits, is that sometimes for whatever reason, a lawsuit is dismissed and then people will infer that to mean that they were proven innocent, which isn't the case. Now, I don't particularly know in Mizkif's situation for this, but the fact that he's had a very similar lawsuit in the past, again, people are going to infer where there's smoke, there's fire. Why does this guy have 2 when most people have 0 against them? One of the examples of this is actually with Taylor Lorenz. So Taylor Lorenz Taylor Lorenz was sued by somebody that I know, very, very, very vaguely know them. What's her name? Ari Jacobs. So she was like a TikTok influencer manager, and Taylor Lorenz wrote a hit piece about her and didn't disclose as well that she was being that Taylor Lorenz was represented by the competing talent agency that then took all of Ari's clients after their eventual dismissal of the case. Ari took this case for like, I think 4 years, and it passed every test, and it was about to go to court, but then I guess she decided to just move on to other things, or she couldn't afford to keep the lawsuit going. And Taylor Lorenz has stated that this is a victory and that her name was cleared, but no, she doxed Ari in that situation. She made up salacious claims about them. She lied. She fibbed. She is basically just like the corporate stooge who just covers like smear campaigns and things. And she's been going around saying that she won that lawsuit and that it was dismissed. Technically it was dismissed, but the claims against her were actually had merit. It passed. The judge even said the lawsuit had merit, but for whatever reason, Ari dropped it.
I felt like my brain cracked, and I was never the same since. I was suicidal, depressed, and I didn't know what to do with my own life. Every day felt like an absolute nightmare. I was losing OTK, my mental health, and all my friends. Emiru was one of the only people that were there for me. She ditched sponsors to go with me to Japan. She went with me anywhere I needed because she wanted me to be happy. And she knew sometimes I freaked out, I lashed out, but she loved me and she knew I was in a terrible mental place. It got so bad, the stress and constant talking about the same things over and over and no sleep and depression, that most of my hair started to fall out and Emiru started to
He's bald. I think Mizkif could stand to lose some hair. He's got this like, I don't know, he's got this very weird sort of appearance to me. Like, you know what I mean? He's got these big, thick, bushy eyebrows. You could stand to lose some hair here, I think.
hurt herself while we were in Japan. As this time happened, I was a massive wreck. I couldn't think straight, and
oh, and he's so sad, Chad. Oh my god, he's big sad.
And being that Emiru hung out with me.
Now, do you think these are real tears, or do you think these are crocodile tears? Because I do think that Mizkif believes he's the good guy in this whole situation, and he does get very emotional. He's a very sad boy. So these could be real tears, I think. But they're not like tears that he's earned, in my opinion.
All day.
Like you don't have a reason to be sad.
High strung. Ugh.
No redness, crocodile, fake emotion.
We would yell at each other, fight, and argue all the time. Things we never once did. I felt this relationship was taking a huge strain, but I thought it could be fixed over time since things were just so amazing that first year. But I'm so gay. But as
Hey, look. Broken clock is right twice a day. Yes, if you're a man, don't cry on stream, okay? If your friend dies, if your dog dies, you're allowed to cry. That's the only time. But you should not be crying in public as a man. Oh, so gay, chat. I'm so gay, chat. Yes. Yes, people are going to laugh at you. Oh, my goodness. You're attacked by the assault plushies. And after you got done bruising up your girlfriend. Yeah, okay. I don't feel anything for this guy.
we stayed around longer, I started resenting her a lot more. You can take it out of only mode. Emiru has a lot of rabbits. It was her calling when she first moved in.
All right, so this is when he tries to strike back with the rabbit offensive. Let's see the whole context of this.
These were a big part of her life. But as those rabbits moved out of her room and into the living room, they started to see disgusting neglect. No food, no water, sometimes not having clean bedding for weeks. I, along with many others who would come over, would give them what they needed, and I would tell her all the time to take care of them, but to no avail. She completely neglected those rabbits, so much that many of them just died over 1 year of
So he's claiming that he's making a claim here that he was looking after them in her stead. Is that true? But they still died all the same. And you were making noise. You were smashing holes in the walls with your fist, things like that, throwing bottles around, breaking shit, which very much could have caused the threat that actually caused them to die. Now, I think there was some photos that were posted, but the context of those photos is unclear, and it may be the case that they were taken just before cleaning the cage or something.
being around in my house.
And like, even if it is true that she didn't take care of her rabbits, it doesn't absolve you of the things that they've been saying. It's just saying like, well, look, she was bad too. Doesn't really help your case. People always like to use animals to like, animals are such useful tools, right? To make yourself look like a good person or to show that someone else is a bad person. Which is so funny that Hassan, his dog, has betrayed him in such this way.
Cleaning ladies would clean them just because they felt terrible. And my brother once came over and said, and I quote, "If you ever marry this woman, I'll never forgive you." Here is a video up close of Emiru's rabbits. These are small little mites that are inside the rabbit cage, and she didn't care. She completely neglected these animals, and I'm not going to sit around and let people say that she didn't. People who came to my house knew that they were neglected. This is an up-close view of the rabbit cage being completely disgusting and neglected. She left them to die, and I'm not going to sit here and have her...
Why did he take this video? Out of curiosity. Do you think like, this is disgusting, don't get me wrong. Now, I'm not a rabbit keeper, like I said my brother was. But like, I don't know, maybe when you clean your rabbit cage, this is fairly straightforward or normal. I don't know. But it does look gross to me. But my question is, and again, this is not proof as well. This is just a video. Like, this is not proof that she's actually neglecting her rabbits at all. But like, my question is, when you see this situation and you save this on your phone from years ago, what is your train of thought? Is like, oh, this might be useful to use against my girlfriend in the future. I might just keep this in my Emiru, you know, betrayal folder or something. Like, I can't imagine keeping these sort of videos just around just in case.
Pretend she didn't.
But I'm like kind of weird. Like, I go through, from time to time, I go through my phone's like photos and videos, and if it's just like, I don't like the photo, or if I think it was bad quality, or it's not like relevant anymore, I'll just go through and delete them. I like to keep a clean house. So this wouldn't be my rabbit cage, is what I'm saying.
It's fucking disgusting.
His blackmail folder? I think so. I think that is the case. That's what I'm inferring. Or he's just like sending it to his brother like, bro, look how disgusting my girlfriend is. Like, again, which is pretty bullshit behavior.
This is a video from my own brother. I didn't record this. These are...
I mean, like I said, the first time like I kind of took notice of Mizkif was when he went to Japan and he was like doing the somersaults and shit off this, the sakura trees, which was kind of like a semi-international incident. And from that very moment, when I saw his reaction, I was like, well, he apologized. Let's see if his behavior changes. Because I think if you do something like a social faux pas or something, you can come back from it. Like if you do apologize, but more importantly, if you change your behavior going forward, then I do think that people deserve forgiveness for these sort of things. And especially in the case of the sakura tree. But one of the first things that Mizkif did after that event was he met up with another streamer who has some children. And then he was collaborating with her for like 2 or 3 days afterwards. And like the idea of the stream was like, well, I'm gonna learn about Japanese culture from a Japanese person. But then in every time I saw a clip of him, it's just he was keeping those kids front and foremost and like, these are my kids. I'm just trying to be a good dad. Like it was just like holding up a cute animal in front of someone to try and garner sympathy. I felt it was very manipulative, and I was very sus of him at that time.
Mites all around her cage. I would tell her to take care of them all the time, but to no avail. She completely...
Very true, the expert. How's it going, my friend? He says, the fact that he filmed it vertically is enough to prove that he's a horrible person. True and real.
neglected those rabbits so much that many died just over a year or two of being around in my house. My cleaning ladies would clean them just because they felt...
Like, what is the point of bringing this up again? Because, like, Emiru said that you would bring up the rabbits to defame her if she started talking about you. Why bring it up? Why lead into her narrative? Like, people were prepared for this. All you had to do is a kind of a strong thing. But like, if he had just said, like, the allegations are untrue, we had a toxic relationship, that's why we broke up, but I never did any of these things to her, I never hit her, I never essayed her, and I'm not going to be mentioning her going forward. That's the best he probably could have done, in my opinion. And then just keep going and never mention it again. But this is just like, there's so much ammo in here. Like, this 30-minute video has been clipped so many fucking times to just show how much of a piece of shit he is. I just don't understand it. Like, I guess it's like people that are like really manipulative. They think that they can control the narrative and they have to put up these sort of things. But oftentimes the best move is just not to do anything at all.
Bad, and my brother once came over and said that if I marry her, he'll never forgive me. In fact, when Maya came over during my cancellation, she actually commented on Emiru's rabbits and said, "These rabbits are completely neglected and this is disgusting." Emiru wouldn't clean the cages and the smell became so bad that we started to have the rabbits just be outside. I told her if that's the case, she's got to make sure she's giving them water because they are her responsibility. Instead, these rabbits were left outside in 100-degree heat with no food or water or anything. Most of the time being in cages with no bedding besides poop all over the place. Emmy didn't care. She would sit inside and play League of Legends all day. And what this showed me is that I don't want her to be my children's mother, and I couldn't see myself marrying her. The fights from these times started to get worse. I would constantly want to be
Even my brother said she was a bitch. Like, this is, even if she was not nice to her rabbits, this just makes him look like such a piece of shit.
farther and farther from her. I would use her for content, but after stream would want to be alone. I didn't know how to break up with her or end things. She was a co-owner of my org, the only person I knew, and the strain of the relationship and hiding the relationship was really taking a toll on me. On top of that, the stalkers were getting worse. One stalker came to my house, and I had to point a gun at him for 30 minutes until the cops came. These stalkers are no...
Just shoot him. Isn't it, like, you're not supposed to show, like, you're not supposed to hold guns to people. If you draw a gun, you're supposed to shoot. That's the, like, and you're in Texas too, you would have got away with it. Like, just do that. Teach the stalkers a lesson. Isn't that how Boogie got in trouble? Or is that just from discharging, like... Isn't that just from discharging it? Or I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to just hold, like, aim is not allowed. You have to, if you want to be on the right side of the law. I guess he got away with it, but I mean, besides suffer stalkers.
joke. And the pressure from the relationship, the anger I felt, and the stalkers as a whole really made us lash out at each other. She would tell me that she doesn't realize what she's doing, that she didn't understand what she was doing wrong. But I would constantly tell her on and off stream that she needs to do more because these stalkers are getting worse. I know I wasn't perfect with my language or tone throughout this entire relationship. I know I wasn't. And I was aggressive at times. In regards to being...
No! Even if it's true, don't say it. I was aggressive at times. But she did have pretty shitty rabbits. Imagine the smell, okay, chat? Imagine the smell. I am... Oh, no. He got, like... Mizkif's lawyer is, like, blowing up his phone. He's, like, tightening the fucking tie around his neck. He's like, not today. Aussies don't know their guns? Not true. Not true. I've used guns many, many times. You know, bear attacks are on the rise in Japan. I may actually look at getting a hunting license and go bear hunting in Japan. Because there's something like 400 bear attacks in Japan this year. I thought it was like 10, but it's actually like an incredible amount. I am meeting a guy that goes hiking around bears soon, which would be fun. So I might actually disappear. If I'm not streaming in December, then literally bears ate me. So I guess that's, you don't come back from that.
Controlling. I told her many things. I told her to dress older, to stop wearing pajamas, to stop talking about stalkers and schizos as a whole. Stop talking about past relationships. And yes, I didn't want her to travel without me. I also said that I didn't want her to hang...
I mean, while there could be some advice just to maybe, you know, dress your age or stop wearing pajamas, or I would like to travel together with you, what people see this as is like you're controlling and you don't want to let her out of your sight because you don't want her to be interacting with men when you're not around because you're insecure and because you're possessive. This is what people see. This is what people infer from this. This is so bad. Even if they're like, yeah, maybe people shouldn't be wearing pajamas to the supermarket or something, but if someone's in their own house, they're in pajamas, who gives a shit? It's not like you're going to the Carlton Ritz or something wearing the pajamas. I mean, maybe she was. I don't think so. But like, this just sounds like manipulative, abusive behavior. Don't go out of the house without me. You better not be wearing those pajamas when I get home, bitch. Like, it just sounds bad. There's no like good way to really interpret this.
Out with specific people. This is because I didn't want her to get hurt. I didn't want Emmy to get assaulted. I didn't want some man to do something to her when I'm not there, and I wanted to keep her safe. And I know with how my mental was and who I was back then that I didn't do everything right. I know I could have done better, and I'm sorry. I know I was controlling, and I should have just ended the fucking relationship.
Again, it's like, yes, I was aggressive. Yes, I controlled her. You're just admitting to everything that she's claimed.
So confused as a person, and I'm sorry I did it. I'm sorry things got to this point, man.
I mean, Chad is right. His eyes aren't red.
The last 9 months of this relationship, things got extremely fucking toxic. I told her to move out. She didn't move out on her own. I told her to move out because I wanted space, but she still wanted me around at all times. She would get upset if we didn't sleep together or if we weren't around. She always wanted me to drive over to her house, but I never wanted to because I wanted to be alone. And that increased our fights. But the stalkers continued, and I got even more stressed. They started to take pictures of me whenever I would drive to her house. They knew my every movement. I couldn't take it. Between the rabbits, the stalkers, and the overall ability to handle situations with each other, I knew this wouldn't last, but I didn't know how to get out of the relationship. She did not want to move out. As for me telling Cheddar to leave my house, he was swatting at Chompy
His chats are really funny.
constantly and making him bleed. I not only was the one that wanted her to move out
8 fucking ads is bullshit crazy, just like this relationship. Oh my goodness. You probably want to turn the ads off for this one, right?
first. I was the one that wanted the cat out of the house because he was attacking my cat. Every month went by the last year, and our fights started to get louder. We were breaking up with each other almost weekly. Fights were getting more aggressive, and shouting began to increase. I'm
going to be honest. I don't understand relationships that get back together. I've never understood that. If I've had a relationship that's broken up, I don't want to go back to that relationship. But there are these people that like have these on and off relationships where they break up like 4 or 5 times or some shit. At what point do you realize that there are other people in the world? I think that's why they do it, is they think like, there's nobody like you out there. There's a billion people fucking out there like that. Okay.
not perfect, and I reflect on those situations
It's just
for
not
poor
necessary.
taste in
There's no
myself.
reason
I'm
to do
ashamed that the
this.
situations got so bad, but Emmy was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and
Oh my god, no! Well, we gotta bring up the clip. Here's the clip they're gonna show in court. Ah, Mizkif, no! Not the assault Kirby. How did he think that this would be? Like, and there's ways to say this as well. Like, you could say, he could have said Emmy was violent too, and then move on. It's like, Emmy was violent too. She threw a plushie at me. There is no way to make that sentence sound like a normal sentence. Everybody that hears that is going to think like, you fucking pussy, what the fuck are you talking about? Not the Kirby plushies. Possibly the softest thing you can throw at somebody. Is it even possible to hurt somebody doing that? Like, I'm trying to think, like, is there a way to make this, like, I don't think so.
punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression. I once
So that's what he was doing, right? Not Emmy? I don't think Emiru is punching holes in the fucking wall.
was also violent. She would throw clothes or plushies at me, and I punched holes in the walls or slammed doors in aggression. I once
One of these things is not like the other. It's like, yeah, I was punching holes in the wall. Yeah, I was slamming doors. But she did throw a plushie at me, to be fair.
time did say I was going to kill myself during an argument, but Emmy did this as well numerous times. She would constantly say she's going
I hate people that claim this like this. Oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm really gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Fuck off.
to kill herself in arguments, and I have a picture where while I had a gun pointed at one of her stalkers who came to my house while she was in Kansas, she told me she was going to kill herself out of aggression of the situation while it was happening. This
How do you have a picture like this? Is it like a selfie or some shit? It's like, it's got like the gun loaded. It's like, yo, we're up here with the stalker. Like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean you got that?
is the situation. I told her that a stalker's at the house. I'm freaking out. What is happening? Can you call me? I'll call you. I literally want to kill myself. I can't take this anymore. I feel so alone and like a problem. Just want to show this. She was also using the I want to kill myself a lot in our situation and relationship. This is while I had a gun pointed at one of her stalkers. This stalker who was at my house, his background picture was Emiru. And when he talked to the cops, he was in love with her and thought that she was talking to him. It is disgusting what these stalkers can do. I will say this. The fact that this guy
I
came
mean, I'll agree with that. Those stalkers are pretty wild.
to my house, and the result of it was a cop brought him down the street to a QT, which is a 7-Eleven, 15 minutes away, and that's all they did, is terrifying for these girls and terrifying for the situation in general. I knew that the relationship wasn't healthy at this point.
You're a pussy, Mizkif.
I knew we had to end it and soon. One day, Emmy posted a very provocative picture, one that she knew I would hate, and she posted it to make me upset. She admitted that she made me upset with it, and we got into a heated argument, and I broke up with her. We broke up for about a month. Then got
Oh my goodness, she's posting the cutie pictures. Like, what of her cosplays? Oh my goodness. That bitch. That bitch. She shared a picture.
back together because we thought we can make it work. We went to
of her
get food at
ankles? Oh my
BJ's,
God.
a common place where we would get food. And then we went back to her house. We cuddled for about 30 minutes and started to kiss. She said that she was okay with this on her stream,
All right, so this is the SA incident, allegedly.
and I started to advance to the next stage because I thought that's what she wanted.
I mean, maybe he just gets aroused when he sees a woman in tears.
She yelped, and I immediately sprung up and was scared if I did anything wrong or did wrong in general. I got scared and left the house. I apologize if that made Emmy uncomfortable for me not saying sorry, and I wish I said sorry back then. But we got
All I mean, this is the one thing that I think that maybe he has in his lawsuit going forward, is that if they call him a rapist and it's like he's like, well, I misread the situation and I stopped when she said no. That's the if there is one thing in his lawsuit that is in his favor, it's that. Because it's just a private situation between two people. There's no evidence on either side of them. And both of them said that at the time when Emiru said no, he stopped. Which is what you want. But like, is it fucking creepy that he saw a crying woman and he's just like, well, I guess I'll just start kissing her and reach down her. Yeah, that's fucking creepy. Yeah, that's fucking gross. But is it SA? I don't think there's an answer to that. It's literally gonna depend on your own interpretations of how these events went down. And I don't think it's something that they can prove in court, which is, like I said, if there's one thing, it's that.
Back together soon afterwards. And during those last few months where we were still fighting, but it did feel like the relationship had good progress. And we were both agreed we need to talk about our future. Since it's been 3 years, we should see what we want. And Emmy had an idea to write down everything we wanted on paper. I'm going to let everyone know that what I'm about to say is very true. This is exactly what happened, and she cannot argue this. One day, after staying over Emiru's house, Emiru made me breakfast, and she wrote down everything she wanted. She wrote she wants me to move closer to her. She wrote that she wants me to marry her, and she wants kids with me in the next 5 years. And I just looked at this letter that I was staring
Mizkif ignores the crying claim, doesn't refute it, though. I think he admitted that she was crying, in fact.
in front of me, and I just handed her back the paper. She began to cry, and I told her, I'm sorry, I just can't do this anymore. I knew we were just beyond the point of toxicity in the relationship, that our trust had completely died, and that we had so many issues that I couldn't deal with it, and I was not mentally well. I walked away.
Like, taking this as for a side for a second, this is kind of an interesting thing that happens in relationships. Because, like, one of the biggest reasons that relationships are toxic and one of the biggest reasons that they fail is that it's just communication issues. And I think it's actually very healthy. What Emiru did is, like, by writing down what she wanted from the relationship and, like, putting everything on the table. Because it's something that women usually don't do. And I mean, I'm gonna be, I guess, making some assumptions, right, about women. But like most women often have difficulty expressing what they actually want in a relationship. And I think that this is great for every relationship. And you should do this with your partners, is tell them what you want from their relationships, what you expect from them. And if the answer is that, no, you can't do this. And in this situation, is like Emiru's like, I want to get married. I want to have children within 5 years. And he's like, I don't want that. Then that's when the relationship should end. Like, I actually think that more people should do this, is just be clear and honest with your partner about what you want. And if you can't deliver what your partner wants from the relationship, it's time to stop shitting and get off the pot, or start shitting and get off the pot, or whatever the phrase is.
I went to her door, and as I opened it, the last words I ever heard her say is, "Don't go. I love you."
Oh my God.
That week, I made flights to Japan because I didn't want to sit around and wait to possibly get back together again. I have never talked to her in person since. I have messaged her numerous times wondering why I have been removed from OTK, Discords, and I was very scared because I didn't know what was going on. Nobody was talking to me or contacting me, and I have had so much regret. Times where
It sounds like there was like an internal discussion of OTK then, because that's one of the things that he claimed in his lawsuit, is that there was no discussion about these events at all, and he was just removed as a breach of contract. It sounds like there was this discussion while he was in Japan, and maybe he should have been privy to that because he's a part owner or something, perhaps. But if this comes out in discovery and it turns out they did investigate him and they just chose that, like, look, we're going to just distance ourselves from you. We're not going to talk about you. We're not going to defame you. Just go away and we'll leave this be. The discovery is only going to hurt Mizkif in that situation.
I wanted to go back. Times where I've drunk messaged her love letters, as you saw on stream.
Oh, no.
But after 10 months, I know we're much better off without each other. I did see her at a party once at Simply's house. The house was very small, and I opened the door. I said, whoops, and proceeded to talk in the other room about what I possibly did wrong, and began to bawl out and be depressed because I just saw my ex-girlfriend. I want to make it very clear. I was not following her, nor lingering around her. I was with others the entire night. The house is about 2,000 square feet with about 50 people there. I, of course, was near her, but I was never following her. This year has been very hard for me, and I'm sure for her. I even went to Japan and drank every single night just to sleep. Going from being with each other for 3 years.
I mean, weird thing to say, but okay.
Straight, and trauma bonding to be completely alone is such a difficult thing for both of us. I began therapy in February of this year with EMDR therapy, something she recommended me when we were dating. I'm very happy to say that I feel better than ever, and I've gotten a lot of the stress I've had away. I've also moved from Austin myself, and I've had a lot of trauma lingering from there as a whole, and I feel a lot better from that. I truly hope nothing but the best for Emmy. I know she said a lot of these things today, and I do believe a lot of them were false, but I do hope nothing but the best for her. And I'm sorry that any of this happened. I hate that we're in this situation, and I hope that she can move on.
It's kind of a bold thing. I hope she can move on. Anyway, here comes the lawsuit. But like the Japan thing, like I'm not sure if the timing of this is the same as the Sakura incident where he said, but like there was some very funny clips I saw of Mizkif where he was being pressed because he was being alleged that he was getting cocaine from the Nigerian touts in Shinjuku and things like that. He certainly seemed like he was having a great time in Japan. Is he an alcoholic who has to drink himself to sleep? Probably. It seems like he's very unhappy with his own life. And that's sad because there are some people that'll just never be happy with no matter what they have. Because on the face of it, before all this drama started, like, you know, you've got like thousands of people watching you, you've got fame, you've got fortune. You have the ability to just fly to other countries when you feel like it just for, you know, just chill out. But it still doesn't make you happy. That's why happiness has to come within. You're not going to get it from external factors. There's a few basic things that you need, obviously. You need to have like, you need to be fed, you need to be sheltered, you need to have all your basic necessities. But after a certain point, the only thing that will make you more happy is the stuff that you do for yourself, not from the external validation.
A toxic relationship. I saw that. I've realized over the years of 2 relationships now online that I'm a horrible boyfriend and I have a lot to work on for myself. I've been single for the past 10 months and I plan to stay that way. I'm continuing to go to therapy and work on myself, not just for me, but for the people around me. If you're wondering if it's scripted, the answer is, of course it is. I wrote it out because I cannot freeball this. This is a very serious situation. I want to make this real.
Super serious. Super serious. Anyway, let's talk about her rabbits, that bitch.
That's it. Okay? I'm going to stand up for myself. I am going to defend myself in these situations. I'm not going away. I have no plans to go away. And I believe a lot of the situations today were absolutely exaggerated. I have dozens of photos and videos, calls and messages as well, if she has them.
In the revenge folder? Not a good thing to admit that you have this, but okay.
I have things I will be leaking over the next few days of other people, of other things. I have a lot of messages that I have that I'm going to expose as time goes on.
You think you drop them all at the same time, right? Like most people will check out your first response, but then after a while, they'll just ignore you. This is one of those situations where you should have dropped everything straight away. If there was anything to be said, or if there's anything to be shown that would, you know, exonerate you, exculpatory evidence, then you should have dropped it in this video. This was the time, because this is where people might check out what you're saying. Going forward, leaking it over days, that doesn't sound good. It sounds like you're just setting up a content drip.
Because I do believe that this is a time to go fucking buck wild. But I want to make it very clear. When it comes to Emiru, when she says that I was getting ready to go after her and that I was going to use her rabbits against her, that was never the plan.
But you did it! It was never the plan, but since you mentioned it, okay. I just happen to have all the photos of this stinking enclosure that I could have changed if I wanted to.
My plan for myself was very simple. If Emmy were to say something about me, I would say something
built
back.
for 2 in the background? Actually, you're right. It's a tandem bicycle. I believe he rode this to TwitchCon.
That's it.
And I only know that because I remember seeing a clip of him riding this tandem bicycle, and he was talking about. I was like, I wonder why nobody wants to collaborate with us, with whoever he was. I'm not sure who the second person was. And there was a clip of Asmongold responding to this, where he was like saying, "I know why people don't want to collab with you. I know why, but I'm not going to say it. That's other people's story to tell." So Asmongold was already talking or hinting about this situation before Emiru decided to become public with it.
I never had a plan in my life to go after her or do anything. It was if she ever said anything, I would say something as well. And that's completely understandable. Can you clarify what, if anything, was said to her team at Twitch?
Guaranteed domestic violence conviction. One of the concerns we talked about at the beginning of the stream was something that Legal Mindset mentioned, where if you don't bring these claims to the police, if you do not have a restraining order, if you don't have anything on record, it can be bad for your case. Will this actually, is this the motive of Mizkif's lawsuit? Is that why? Because she hasn't filed one just yet, and he had to get in before that was levied? Maybe. Again, I think that these claims are very weak. And there's such a high threshold for proving actual malice against these public figures. So maybe he felt like he was running out of time, and that's why he did it. And maybe he can get off some technicalities that she never claimed anything against the police, and that he can argue the definitions of SA and things like that. That's the only thing I can see him going for in this. But it's just it's just so stupid overall.
I said that if she goes after me, then I will go nuclear. And that is exactly what I said. And that's what's going to happen, because you can't mess with me anymore. I don't have anything to lose. I'm sorry I don't. Go after me all you want. I have nothing to lose. And I will say this proudly.
I mean, that you actually have a lot to lose. All of your money that could be taken from you from this lawsuit. They're fucking expensive.
Emiru abused those rabbits. She did. And if you're in Austin, Texas, and you want to say that she didn't abuse those rabbits at my house, you're lying. You know she did. She abused those rabbits and she let them outside. And it's disgusting. And I didn't want to bring this up ever. This was not something I planned on bringing up in my life. But it's something that she claims that she didn't do. And people are trying to defend her from that. Like Asmongold, where he says that one of her rabbits she took and brought around. What about the other 6 rabbits that died? As for what happened with me and Emiru, it is I mentally have been fucked up for years. And I'm very proud of myself.
I mean, I agree with that. That's true. Like, there's a second thing that he said that's right.
And I think leaving Austin was the best thing, not just for me, but for everyone around me. I do believe that.
I mean, leaving Austin maybe is a good idea, but going to California, going to Los Angeles, that's not a good move. You're just going into the den of depravity, the den of the streamer, like cliques and everything. And now you're toxic, and now they're going to have anything to do with you. And you're never going to feel more alone than you will now in Los Angeles, which is quite interesting.
I fucked up a lot, and I'm never going to not admit that. And I realized I need to be alone. I never got kicked out of Austin, Texas. I left myself. I'm absolutely mentally fucked.
You can't fire me, I quit.
I have been slowly working on it. I do feel like I've been getting better. I feel like I'm very calm right now. I don't feel stressed. I don't even feel angry.
I mean, you were pretending to cry like 10, 20 minutes ago, so you clearly aren't doing as well as you think you are.
I feel that every day I'm trying to learn more and more and do better, but I'm going to stand up for myself in a lot of these situations because a lot of it was not true. And I don't like that she was portraying that it was just me who was at fault. It was a toxic relationship, and that's what it was. Why was viewership so important? I will bluntly say this, and I'm very honest. I was, and I still am, but I very much was someone that was massively obsessed with streaming and viewership. And when my cancellation happened, and even before it, I mean, it's something you guys know. I've been massively obsessed with streaming and viewership over the years, and it's disgusting and has ruined my fucking life. It is something that I am envious of others. I am angry at others because of it. It makes me jealous when I see others doing well, and it has made me realize that I am I'm never happy for someone else if they're doing much better than me. You guys know.
Oh, I mean, this doesn't really have anything to do with it, but it's just like admitting he's a piece of shit. Yeah, I take no joy in my friends succeeding. Everything needs to be for me and me alone. Yes, I'm jealous. Yes, I hate other people if they get attention. Okay. I mean, I don't know what he was trying to prove here. But, like, what a way to let... Maybe he should just retire. Just fucking retire. I don't know how people get like this. It really does boggle my mind.
I know this is true if you watch my old stream. I've always been this way. I've been very envious of other people, and it's a problem. It's a serious. I'm definitely way better than I was now, or I am now, but it's a serious problem that I am still working on to this day. I am not perfect, and I fucked up with that. I've been this way for a very fucking long time, where I'm a competitive dude, and I think I'm very competitive with streaming because
there's a difference between being competitive and being petty, and being an envious little goblin. Being competitive, part of competition is being a good, gracious winner and loser. And sometimes people do better than you, and sometimes people do worse than you. But your only real opponent is yourself. If you've got 10,000 people watching you, that's an achievement. You should be happy about that. That doesn't mean you can't strive to be greater. But then when you see your girlfriend has got slightly more views than you, and you crash out and seethe, that just means you're pathetic. Like, what the fuck? Like, he literally tried to get... He actually tried to get Emiru to stream at different times than him as well, so that he wouldn't have to compete against her. Like, just removing the competition rather than actually trying to rise to be greater.
I really care about it a lot. I've sunk my whole life into this thing. Did you really drive 150 miles?
How old is he, though? Like... Is he like 25 or something? Oh, he's 30, okay. He looks younger than 30, so I'll give him that. But like, oh my god, my life is over at fucking 30. Like, no, it isn't. Stop it. Just stop it. Most men are doing nothing in their 20s to 30s. They're grinding up from the basement of a building all the way. Maybe around 30, 35 is when people first start to get acknowledged for their actual achievements in life, typically. Now, some people do better, obviously. Some people do worse. But like, oh my goodness, my entire life. There are people that change their entire careers at 40, 50, or whatever. It's like, oh my god, this is the only thing I know. Well, yeah, but like, it doesn't have to be.
An hour. I'm going to say this very clear. If you know me in Austin, Texas, I drive fast everywhere. I drive fast literally everywhere. I'm in an Audi R8 in Austin, Texas, where the freeways are open. I drive fast all the time. I remember one time when she was picking me up from the airport, and she was in her blue Corvette, and she started the speed when we were on a straightaway.
People randomly start respecting you after you're 35, Nick Ricator. Well, Nick did say that, but Nick was confused about it. He thought it was because of age. He thought it was just that, like, after you reach a certain age, people start respecting you because you're an older man. It's not because of that. It's because at the time that you become around 35 is usually when you're starting to actually achieve something in your career. Now, he was handed a bunch of money and attention when he reached around that age. So, of course, it makes sense to him.
Way when she was getting mad, and she stayed quiet. I don't remember the exact speech she got up to, but we were definitely flying. But I'll say this. I have no problem admitting fault. The person that I was during that relationship, and I would say the Mizkif in Austin, Texas, is fucking disgusting.
Like, when it's okay to admit to fault is like, oh, I forgot to pick up the cake. Oh, whoopsie daisy, I added salt instead of sugar. The recipe's ruined. Oh, I don't mind admitting to fault. You don't want to admit to fault when the claims are assault, aggression, domestic violence, driving your car on the freeway, saying you're going to end both of their lives because Mr. Beast didn't invite you to a collab video. That's not when you want to admit to fault. Even if it's true, there's really no virtue in admitting these mistakes. You should just keep them secret forever.
Hated myself. I hated this person that just sat there all day, stressed and angry and mad at the fucking world. I hated being this upset person because I know you are who you hang out with. And I definitely changed Emmy in a lot of ways and made her very stressed as well. And mentally, the situation we were in just cataclysmed both of us. I was a very toxic person and I knew I needed to get out, so I broke up with her. In fact, I broke up with her twice. The first time I broke up with her, I really thought it was over. And the second time I broke up with her was forever. I did message her a lot afterwards, primarily for OTK stuff, but there were times where I did want to go back to her. I'm not going to pretend I didn't. I was drunk. I thought I needed to, but yeah, that's it. I don't think there's really anything else to talk about. This is something I think that we...
Why is there another 6 minutes in this video?
We went over, and I am glad that it is out there, what I just said. And that's it. So
you're not gonna be glad.
I said what I had to say.
Thank you for the gifted listening.
And I will be back. I'm not leaving anytime soon. All right, that's it, guys.
It's probably time for another escape to Japan, if I'm being honest.
Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it.
I feel like if he established that as a boundary not to post very early on, first year, and they were together and been around for like years together, this is my take. I'm going to assume that she knew and accepted that boundary.
People make fun of when I read documents or when I try and say things and I flub my lines or things like that. People will criticize me for that. But like, this is the world's biggest streamer, XQC. And listen to him talk, okay? If he could do it, then surely I could do it.
So now we can make it whatever you say about him, and you'll be right. You say, oh, he's a controlling fucking controlling psycho, whatever. Then people are gonna say they're insulting. Insecure. I agree. Insecure bitch, 100%, definitely. Right? Yeah. And I think everyone will agree to that. That's 100%. Right? Unfortunately, it's I feel like since it was established early on, it's something that she was okay at the time at least. So that's where I'm at on that. And I would be more than willing to understand. Well, you have to watch.
What's the point of including this XQC clip? Is he going to rebut it, or is he trying to include this to show that? Is he trying to show that XQC agrees with him, or is like? I assume that this is XQC. I mean, it's kind of, you have to interpret this a little bit with XQC, but I assume he's including this to try and talk about how the event was an essay. It's kind of a weird thing to add without. It seems like there's no context for this. It's just an XQC clip for like 6 minutes.
Me through how what I just said is wrong. It's still wrong though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the truth lies in the middle. Definitely. As in, he makes it seem like it was only boundary, whatever. And it seems like when I was into her, it was more like, oh yeah, he was doing this, he was doing that. I think it's probably a little bit of a wiggle room in the middle. But I don't fucking know. I'm making my take with the information I'm given. That's it. What can I do? What else can I do? I'm not gonna fucking be a weirdo. Yeah, so I do absolutely think though that with that in mind, that the throwing stuff around, I gotta be honest with you, more than likely malicious for sure. And he would have to atone for that or completely debunk it, which would impress me, but I'm not trying to be rude, right? Like I'm not trying to be like assumption.
Is he French or retarded? Well, he's French-Canadian, as I understand it. So that answers both of those questions.
Or weird about it. I think definitely more than likely. About the essay thing, you guys are gonna, I feel like it's not, even though my take is rooted in complete reality, I feel like people are not gonna want to listen. Because it's a moment where somebody is, obviously went through some trauma, obviously is Emmy was spilling her heart out, right, and giving her story, and I respect that. I gotta respect that. And with what she said as an event, I can see how this plays out for him and for her in their own perspective, right? And be in a way where nobody's completely far out in like the absolute wrong. because it's a big read the room moment. And if both don't read the room and Miz doesn't read the room at all, right? Him standing up kind of absolves them of misreading the room. Sorry, that's my take. My take is that, okay.
Yeah, I kind of agree with this. I know this is going to be unpopular because it's so easy to just come out and say Mizkif bad, he did everything wrong. But like, if he did, it is possible that he just misread the situation. But by both of their accounts, after displeasure was expressed, he stopped. Which makes it very difficult for me to believe that he SA'd her or that he raped her or whatever. But was it sexual? Absolutely. Was it assault? Probably not. But Emiru definitely believes it's assault. I can agree with that. And the popular opinion would be just to say that Mizkif bad, right? But I think there is a little bit more nuance in this particular. But was he abusive? Was he psychotic? Absolutely, absolutely. But that's why I say that's the one thing that may be meritorious in his claims.
Let's say you're deluded, okay? You're horny, let's be honest. Most guys are. Then some traumatic thing happens, right?
I mean, and some people do, like, there's even jokes about this, right? Like make-up sex after like people have a big fight. So it's like it's a thing that's been around for a long time.
Some crying ensues. It's a heavy moment.
Now, should he have been kissing her and reaching her hands in her pants while she was crying? Probably not. Which is why I think he did a bad thing. But was it assault? Since he stopped when she said no, I'm going to lean on the side of probably not.
Right? It's a heavy moment for her, definitely, right? And she's having probably a hard time, right? And she's being emotional, whatever, right? She probably expects to be given time, understood, comforted with words of affirmation, some form of comfort, whatever, right? And then she doesn't get that, right? That is with since I was watching the stream, that probably was what I was looking at, right? She's probably having a hard time, right? And she wants something positive. Yes, interesting. Okay, good. Next, his perspective. He probably thinks, oh yeah, she's crying, she needs comfort, whatever, right? She gets.
So XQC's opinion on this Mizkif situation is like, well, this bitch is crying. She needs to be healed by my dick. Is that what he's saying?
Close.
I mean, I is that what Mizkif believed? Probably. I agree with this take, basically, but it is very funny when you break it down like that.
Does the kissing whatever the fuck, right? Yes. The reading the room is shit. Clearly, the man is not reading the room. She's looking for comfort. He is looking for physicality, right? That is, he's not reading the room for shit, and he's wrong for that, right? But yes, it is gross. I understand. From his perspective, if there's no either a dialogue or warning or non-verbal of, yo, this is, don't like hug me or kiss me, right? You're
SQC's chat is so fucking fast. It's
still
like
not
impossible to
correcting.
read. What is the point in engaging in this chat if you can't read or talk to people? I don't understand. Is it just to see like is it just the flashingness or whatever?
Your vision of reading the room. You're still in the wrong. You would still be deluded, right? This is how I'm reading. This is how the story plays.
Let's see. Reading the room on paper. Reading the room on paper. I don't know that she was crying. You're saying his intent wasn't malicious.
Plays out in my view. So within that sense, right? If she said and she screamed or whatever, right, to stop doing something, and he jumped out of the bed and he stopped, within your delusion, right, of not reading the room, when there was pushback or
the chat is unintelligible as a streamer. This man makes like $100,000 a stream. What a fucking world. What a fucking world.
Warning or a hint, big one.
Matrix line chats. I've never said that before.
Unwanted, then he stopped, right? So I understand it wasn't needed, it wasn't wanted, but I can see how, okay, when the delusion stopped and it was warned, he stopped. And that's how I see it. And you don't have to agree with me, and I'm not glazing anybody. I'm trying to be impartial and be in the middle and be really understand everything, okay? I've heard similar stories in the past. I haven't. And it's just like, if somebody doesn't, it's wrong. Does that make sense? If somebody doesn't, if you give somebody a warning, a sign, they don't stop, yeah, wrong. That giving that vibe, right? But maybe it's because it was either underexplained but I was being receptive to it. Does that make sense? If you've been with somebody for a long time and things get close, right? I'm going to be honest with you, right? If there's no signs of, I don't want this, people assume like, yeah, like it's gonna end up like touchy kissy. Does that make sense? But I understand the crying is one thing, but the reality is that you gotta read the room and know when to escalate And clearly, the room was not red. That's wrong. Is it as bad as you will make it seem to be? I'm not.
I mean, there's almost like no point to. We're almost finished though, so we may as well see it. But like, I don't understand why Mizkif included this. So this is like 6 minutes of XQC basically saying like, yeah, maybe he misread the room. I guess this is his social proof is that a French Canadian is saying you made a bad decision. Okay.
I'm inclined to intake more information, but I'm not there. Like I'm not. It's still wrong. It's still fucking wrong. It's the 100. If somebody's going to a traumatic event, you're not trying to fuck, or you shouldn't. And if you do want to fuck, you have to hold strong, man. And yo, mega horn dogs out there, yo, that might be hard. I get it. You just gotta not do it. Okay. Like that's it. I feel like people that can't even see this scenario haven't been in a relationship ever.
Narrative controlled from a well-known influencer, I suppose, but like, even though this makes him look like a bad guy, like SQC says it's a bad thing, and I agree. I think this was a stupid thing that he did. He's like, well, this bitch is crying, maybe I can shut her up with my dick. And then he was like, oh shit, she doesn't like this. Okay, I'm out of here. Yeah, he fucked up. Absolutely, and that's what XQC is saying here as well. So there you go. I think that's all we got. I think that's all we got for this session. This is the first part. We have yet to see Emiru, or actually, let me check out. Let me see if Asmongold has made a statement. Does this happen? Like, I believe this was filed about 3-4 hours ago. What's Asmongold's Twitter account? Oh, here it is. It's just Asmongold. All right. No, that's not the real Asmongold. That's a fake. That's a fake one. What is it? Zach Raw. Oh, it's the one with the South Park thing. Okay, got it. Let's see. Has he made any statement? I don't see it. He might be streaming. He might be. 12 hours ago, he made a reply, so he hasn't responded to this publicly yet, as I understand it. I'll check to see if Emiru said anything. I would imagine that they're going to not respond publicly until they've talked to their lawyers, which is a good move. And I think that Mizkif is in for a world of hurt. This plushie. It's going to be like this plushie, but times 1,000 when he goes to court, because Asmongold's got nothing but money. He's got nothing to gain, really. I mean, I guess maybe he could lose some money he doesn't seem to care about. He just spends it on steak and Skittles. That's fucking cheap. It's like that Joker moment, you know, where the Joker in, oh my goodness, the media literacy. In The Dark Knight, where the Joker gets all that money from the gangsters, and he's like, gasoline is cheap, bombs are cheap, and he just burns everything. That could be Asmongold's move here. Is just like, well, my friend's in trouble. You're a piece of shit. You're suing me. Let's go. Let's see what fucking happens. Why not? Probably just be entertainment for him. And again, like, the optics of all of this is just so bad because Emiru is so popular and so clearly a victim in this situation. Now, did she mistreat her rabbits? Maybe. But that's not important to this case. So, yeah, steak is cheap. I haven't had a steak in ages. When was the last steak I had? I don't typically eat steak because, like, it's not very common over here. I eat chicken every day. I think the last steak I had was in Tokyo, but it was like a Wagyu steak. And Wagyu steak, I'm like not a big fan of, honestly. I prefer like lean steak, like protein-rich steak, like venison steak or something. That's my preferred one. When I lived in New Zealand, we'd go hunting and I have venison all the time. It was great. I love that rich protein taste. But like the Japanese steak is like, there's so much fat in it that you can only eat like a little bit, and then it's like I don't know, cloying, I guess is the word. Kind of like, I'm not a great fan of it. I think it's overpriced as well. But everyone always talks about how Japanese steak is so amazing. It's like, I think they've fallen for the meme of Japan thing. Especially when you get the American Wagyu. Oh my goodness, American Wagyu. Yeah, okay. That's real quality stuff you're eating over there. The American Wagyu. What does Wagyu mean, chat? It means Japanese cow. It means Japanese cow. It's the American Japanese cow. Wow, really, really amazing stuff. Honestly, Australian beef I think is better than Japanese beef if you're looking for something low in fat. Kangaroo steak's pretty good too, actually. Sorry, I'm getting hungry, if you haven't noticed. It's time for me to go shopping, and then I need to do some business and stuff. I hope you enjoyed this stream. I will continue to cover this topic, I think, because I'm very interested to see where this goes. But this is day one of a potential lawsuit between some of the biggest names in Twitch. Everyone else have a great day. If you're watching on replay, be sure to leave a comment. I will edit out the mistake I made at the beginning. And I guess peace. See you, chat.
But at least it can't get much worse.
But it did get worse.